Today, we are exposing Metatronics. Over the last few days, I've gone through this opportunity with a fine-tooth comb. I've reviewed the website. I've examined Hong Kong company records. I've analysed the legal terms. I've investigated the CEO. And I've looked into Jan Gregory's long history of promoting cryptocurrency investment schemes. And after all that work, I still can't independently verify the claims they are asking investors to believe. That's the point I should have. That's the point. I shouldn't have to prove they are not legitimate. They should be proving they are legitimate. If you're asking people to trust you and put millions of dollars into cryptocurrency, show us the independent audits, show us the verifiable trading, show us the regulatory licenses, show us the evidence, not internal dashboards, not marketing videos, and not polished presentations. Evidence. And here's something else that concerns me. Before recording this video, I offered Blackley, Peak, Jan Gregory, and Metatronics a genuine right of reply. I wanted to hear their side. I wanted to give them the opportunity to correct me if I'd made a mistake. The support email published on their own website bounced. Jan Gregory hasn't responded. No shit, Sherlock. Metatronics hasn't replied. So I asked myself this: what legitimate company doesn't respond when an investigative journalist offers the opportunity to correct the record before they publish something that could potentially be damaging to the company? That's not how transparent businesses behave. So today we're putting the markets aside. We're following the evidence. And as we're asking the questions, every prospective investor should be asking before they put their money in, because trust isn't built with slick websites and AI buzzwords. Trust is built with transparency and verifiable evidence. And after days of investigating Metatronics, I haven't seen it. Now, some of the investigations I'm doing at the moment are quite lengthy. So I apologize if you've got better things to do and you don't want to listen to it. But basically, because I've spent hours and hours and hours of time researching these opportunities, then hopefully you're just going to take my word for it. And you don't have to sit here and listen to all the arguments. But to my astonishment, I normally get comments under the videos telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, you don't understand the crypto. And I go, well, I do understand money that I worked hard to get, and I don't see why I have to give you my money if your opportunity is so damn good that it's going to make me a horrendous amount of money. Now, Jan Gregory here in his videos, which we won't be able to watch all of them because we are limited on time, claims that he put $200,000 of his own money in there. And look, he's getting $600 of his own money back every day. You gave somebody $200,000 and they give you $600 back every day. How many 600s is there in $200,000? I want to know. You know, this is the stupid stuff that you hear. So what I've done, as I said earlier, I've gone through everything that they have. And I basically said, let's look at the evidence of what they've got to do. We've got a video which I'm playing right now, and then we've even created a lovely song which I want you to listen to for a second because it's a goodie. And this one here is actually Jan Gregory with his grill on, and he's actually a rapper. Yeah. So let's all listen.
Another promise. Another dashboard.
I want to sit down while he's singing.
But where's the proof? Yeah. Brand new website, first paint on the wall, talking hedge fund moves, but the paperwork small. Telegram bot say trust the machine. Whole thing polished, but I'm looking in between. Hong Kong address with 100 more names. Virtual office playing corporate games. Dashboard flashing numbers every minute. Question is, can anybody verify what's in it? 20 AI agents, maybe that's true. Show me the trades, don't just tell me they do. 4%, 20%, monthly they claim. I seen this movie, just a different name. Everybody yelling passive income. Everybody saying it's the new one. History whispers, I've heard that song. Truth don't care if the hype sounds strong. Show me the proof, show me the books. Not another website with professional looks. Show me the wallet, show me the trades. Not just another promise wrapped in AI claims. Everybody flex, everybody preach. Truth ain't measured by the speeches you teach. If it's real, then let the evidence talk. Until then, I'm just following the walk. Bradley Peak, public face on the stage. Cambridge graduate. Turn another page. Wisdom even say one thing. One voice say more. That's the kind of detail investigators explore. Read every contract, every legal line. Withdrawal anytime, well, depends on the fine print. Platform discretion and trying to review. Funny how the marketing don't mention that to you. No KYC. Printed in bold and letter in the terms that can freeze what you hold. That's why I don't stop at the homepage design. I keep reading every single line. Questions, still no reply. Support them or bounce when I ask them why. Right of reply, door stayed open wide, nobody answered. From the other side, then Jan walks in like he's back again. Different platform, same old trend. Coin market ball, beta harvest tool, cloud 5 Vortic, name a few. Every cycle starts the same. Fresh new logo, fresh new name. AI, trading, daily pay. Seen that script 100 ways, not saying history repeats, but history short like recycling beats. Show me the proof, not just the hype. Anybody can build a beautiful site. Show me audits, independent eyes, not internal numbers or polished replies. You want trust, then earn it first. Facts to fulfillance, evidence first. Money don't care how smooth you sound. Truth always surface when we dig underground. This ain't hate, this ain't fear, this is due diligence. Crystal clear, one question before a single dollar moves. If it's everything you claim, why not simply show us the proof?
Yeah. So not bad, eh? Not bad for some AI. And we've got some really other good stuff coming out. So last night I put together a couple of other blogs. We've just released a really interesting global glamping guide. The guy's already offered, told me he's going to give me what did he say? It's going to get his lawyer to do a cease and desist letter. And he's also, it's defamation. And I told you I was going to reply one day, so that's quite fun. But that's the global camping one, which we'll be doing tomorrow. That is the biggest blog I've ever written. It is discussing what this guy's been doing. And the other one that you may have not heard about is e-estate. There's just been some major developments there with the Alberta Security Commission's actually gone to town on all these individuals, but they've actually named these scammers in their report. So I've put together a couple of good juicy blogs that are coming up to a live stream not too far from where you are. What am I saying? To a live stream near you. All right, so this is quite big. This is quite big because I know Jan Gregory, he's been involved with so many scams, which we'll mention in this blog, so I'm not going to double up. But when I saw Jan Gregory involved in something and I realized that he's got a key position in this company, then it's just worth me doing a blog and telling you all guys about it. Now, when he starts off, he seems to have this sort of aura about him, and he gets this following, and you get all his memes coming out of the woodworks, and they're the people that endorse these schemes. And it's a bit confusing because you think everyone's involved, but it's not really. It's just a handful of people who follow him from one scam to the other. Now, don't get wound up in what he's doing. We need to sit, think, wait before we make any decisions. And this stuff has nothing to do with crypto whatsoever. This is all about referrals and the illusion that he's doing something. And when it all falls over, he's going to say, well, yeah, no, I did tell you not to invest more than you're prepared to lose. And all the excuses come out. And then he'll tell you he had $200,000 in it and he's lost it all and he's in the same boat as you. And we're tracking down the guy and we'll never find him. But in the meantime, I've got something over here that's really, really cool. But the fact is that this guy is a fugitive and they want to have him arrested, locked up and put in jail. That's pretty serious. So would you listen to a guy that could be locked up any minute? Just look at Andrew Tate. He's just been arrested. I mean, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? So all these guys are getting arrested. Things that have taken years are starting to roll. Jan Gregory is somebody I've been following for at least 4 years, if not more. I've been doing this since 2021 April, so I worked out the other day. Scammers don't just sell investments, they sell confidence, credibility, and the illusion that someone else has already done the hard work for you. There's no such thing as knowing nothing about crypto trading or investing and then giving them your money and you'll be intelligent and you'll get to where they claim they are, because they're not. For years, I've watched the same formula repeat itself under different names. Branding becomes more sophisticated, the websites become more polished, the legal disclaimers become longer, and the marketing becomes more convincing. Yet, beneath the professional appearance, many of these opportunities rely on remarkably familiar promises: artificial intelligence, automated trading, passive income, complete transparency, and the claim that anyone can participate with almost no experience. Metatronics is one of the latest platforms to emerge using that formula. And after spending days examining the websites, legal documents, promotional material, public statements, company records, and people promoting it, I believe there are serious questions every prospective investor should be asked before depositing $1. So let's have a quick look at this wonderful thing here. Look at this. It's got the nice world globe spinning here, active system to give you real-time data. Capital works, you the rest. Capital works, you rest. AI algorithm trade 24/7. So just everybody needs to deposit their money into this platform and open up the mini app, plug in your crypto wallet, feed it a bit of money, and it's just going to make you a non-millionaire. That's how easy crypto trading has become, ladies and gentlemen. If you think that, then you better leave this YouTube channel, because you are not my clientele. But if you're learning and trying to get your head around how these scammers bamboozle people, how they gaslight people, how they put pressure on people to invest, then you're in the right place. So look at this here. So it's got, all of a sudden, it's been going a few weeks, and we've got 184,000 users, and we've got 7.7 million capital, and we've got 682 went up, increase in 24 hours. This is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. This is the latest thing since sliced bread, and if you don't invest in this, you won't be able to fly anywhere. Oh, I like the way I brought that in. Starting in 5 minutes. Open the bot in Telegram. Anything in Telegram that's telling you to invest is a lie. It's a scam. Do not listen to it. Do not believe it for 10 seconds. Not even 8 seconds. 4 seconds. It's rubbish. You basically, you get into Telegram, you deposit money, and then the AI will become active, and you sit there and watch your money grow. Even if you sit there and you're looking at it and it's going up, you'll never get your money off these platforms. They're not designed to exit money. They're designed to take money. It's not rocket science. But you can come through here and you can look at this website. And to be fair, this website does look pretty impressive. You know, look, if you want to do your own investigation on things like this, there's some great fundamental things that you can do. First time, I always go down to the bottom here and I go to the legal stuff. And I click on the legal stuff and look at this. This is like a wee game. You click that button, open that button. If you click that button and click that button, they automatically shut. But there's no such thing as a legal document that's only a handful of pages. I think we've got Article 1. So we went through there and we did the hard work for you, and we put all the legal documents into here. We even sent an email, ladies and gentlemen. It won't even allow me to enlarge the screen. Let's see if I can do that. Let's go plus. There we go. So I went there and I emailed this email address that you can see here, and it bounced. So what's the point? You get what I'm saying? There it goes. It lets me do it now. So I emailed these people and it bounced. So the email on this website, taking your money, doesn't work. Another thing you can have a look at is AI trading. There, I can't see the terms and conditions. And I don't know if you know, but setting up a company in Hong Kong is very expensive. And it's very hard to actually search that company and find records. But I actually paid to actually look up these records this time. And you'll be amazed at what we've found. So look, what I'm getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, this company doesn't seem to have any terms and conditions. It only has legal documentations, which I believe are worthless pieces of shit. It's not real, but you're led to think that this is something substantial. Now, people don't care about this stuff because all they care about is telling you to sign up and them getting a commission. So let's go back here. I'm not going to get this name right, am I? I'm just going to have a wee play with it and see if I have got it right.
Metatronics.
Metatronics is the latest platform emerged with the formula after spending days examining the website legal documents. I have said this, but I'm going to say it again here. Legal document promoting promotional material, public statements, company records, and people promoting it. I believe there is serious questions every prospective investor should ask before depositing in $1. My interest in Metatronics was accidental. The investigation began after I discovered Jan Gregory have started enthusiastically promoting the platform to his audience. Long-time readers of my website or listening to my blog will recognize that name immediately. Gregory has spent years promoting one collapsed crypto investment platform after another, including CoinMarketBull was actually the first one I ever saw him in. CloudFi, never saw him doing that, but I know he does. What's that word for?
Vortic United.
Vortic United. And actually the very first one I saw him doing was Max Spread, I think, and several others. California regulators had previously named him in multiple enforcement actions connected to security violations, while Canadian Alberta security commissions fined him for security fraud before relocating overseas. When someone with the documented history suddenly begins promoting another AI-powered trading platform, experience tells me it's worth paying very close attention to. Now, if you click on that there, you can actually go through and you can actually see the order that they did against Jan Gregory. Now, we've literally had emails from the Alberta Security Commission asking us if we know where Jan Gregory is. And that's because there is a photo that will come up in the not too distant future here where Jan Gregory was standing in just outside of Kuala Lumpur. Where are you, Jan Gregory? Not that one. We'll show you that in a minute. This one here. And we managed to notice that in the background there's Honda and Singer. So we actually managed to locate exactly where he was standing, and we found his location. And then we told people we know where Jan Gregory is. Next minute, we get an email from the Alberta Security Commission saying, oh, we want to know where he is. We want to lock him up under key. So everyone's looking for Jan Gregory. Currently, we do know, we just showed you that he's in Vietnam, hooting around the streets on electric motorbikes, which is actually quite interesting. But anyway, if you come down here, the very good thing down the bottom here is it does talk about how much he got fined, I think, and how he's been a very naughty boy. So I don't even know if it's in that document. It might be another court document. But just if you want to, you can go through here and you can read all these documents. And if you are thinking about investing and you think Jan's a good boy, you won't, unless you're brain dead, do that after you read the receipts. Okay, so when somebody has documented history suddenly becomes involving one AI housing. Okay, here we go. Here we are. Let's get into it. Let's go. What followed was one of the most comprehensive investigations I've undertaken into a newly launched opportunity. I examined every page of Metatronics' website, downloaded the presentations, reviewed the legal documentation, analysed the company registrations, investigated its claims, headquarters in Hong Kong, researched the public identity of the CEO, Blakely Peak. Reviewed hours of promotional documents, compared the marketing with previous collapse schemes, and looked closely at what has been promised versus what actually has been delivered. Is that right? Along with the founder pattern, what promise versus what actually has disclosed in the fine print. So basically, their marketing versus their fine print, big contradiction. Along the way, I found the platform that has invested heavily in appearances, transparency messaging, and sophisticated branding, but also one that raises a growing list of important questions that deserve careful consideration. This investigation is not about tracking cryptocurrency or algorithm trading. Legitimate automated trading firms do actually exist, such as legitimate fintech companies, just as legitimate fintech companies. Instead, the investigation asks much simpler questions. Does the evidence support the marketing? Throughout this article, I'll walk you through exactly what I found, what can be independently verified, what remains unsupported, and why experienced scam investigators recognize patterns that newer investigators often overlook. By the time you've reached the end, you will have the evidence needed to make your own informed decision. So here we go. So why Jan Gregory immediately caught my attention? If there was one reason this investigation moved to the top of my list, it was Jan Gregory. I've spent years documenting cryptocurrency investment schemes that promise massive incomes through the automated trading, artificial intelligence, arbitrage, copy trading, and other supposedly regulatory technologies, while every platform has its own branding, one thing really changes: the promoters. Certain individuals appear time after time, again and again, enthusiastically introducing what they describe as the next best big thing, a big opportunity, before quietly moving on to the next platform when the previous one collapses. Gregory has become one of the most recognizable names in the circles. Now, I don't know if I've actually got him here. I think I actually am going to jump, and I'm going to see if I actually do have a little bit of fun with him, because it's always fun to see Jan Gregory at work. Because the funny thing I have noticed with Jan Gregory is that he has this funny beard thing on. It's like he's not allowed to be on the internet. It's illegal. So he decides to have some sort of fake beard on, which is an insult to every real beard owner. But I'll see if I can actually find his name without... Oh, there it is. Jan Gregory. I just had it there. So this might be his YouTube channel he's using at the moment. Yes, it is. Good. I've got things that are going my way. So if we go to Jan Gregory's YouTube channel, you can see, whoa, 200K. So what he's telling people here is he's put 200K into the platform, and he's now made $1,400 in 15 days. So I don't know. That means he's got 180 days before he gets his principal back with all that risk. So this is him, 14 views. So he's a washed up scammer. When you think about this, he's got 14 views 9 hours ago. He's really struggling. So this is a good photo of him. He's the man. He's the boss. And next minute, we're going to have Jan Gregory on our screen.
All right. We're back, family. It is day 15.
See his fake beard?
And I am a machine. Day 15, and I am a machine. In 15 days, 6,055 affiliates have signed up so far. 15 days, 6,055 amazing people around the world have signed up with me on.
And that figure, people don't question these figures. And that figure is batshit lies. No one's going to sign up on this Jan Gregory, but they have to. Let me just put this in perspective. If you're good with calculators, right, just work this out. He's got this video going live, 14 views in 9 hours. Okay. Are you telling me that what did he say? 6,000 people that have signed up. Only 14 people in 9 hours are going to look at his videos. I mean, this is where you can actually just do your own investigation.
Metatronics got the app in their phone. They are making ROI, return on investment. They are making gains every day. They are making profits. They finally came to crypto, and they are winning, you guys.
So it's a funny thing is I have an argument with ChatGPT that's always given me these introductions that I read out, and I'm telling it, you don't be too PC. And he said, well, you can't really, and it says you can't really call it a scam if you've got no evidence. I says, well, why is it my job to prove these things are a scam? Why isn't it the scam's job to prove they're legitimate? Like in Dubai, I think it's reverse. You're guilty till proven innocent, aren't you? So why is it my job to prove that this is not legitimate? Why isn't it their job to prove they are legitimate? And when they prove it, they file fake documents. I actually am going to get off script again. Can't help myself. But I'll give you an example of that. I've just done this research, as you know, on e-estate, right? Right. So now I've got this live I'm going to do in a couple of days' time, right? And you come down here, and now they are telling people that they were SEC approved. There it is. So if you click on that there, they take you to what they call the United States Security and Exchange Commission. And I don't even know why the United States Security and Exchange Commission allow people to have a form that's visible, which is confusing to people. But in here, it talks about how Real Estate Group is being SEC approved. This is what they tell people. And you come down here, and basically this form, I don't understand it, because the average person, this person doesn't, I don't even think this person actually even exists. But this form is used by them claiming that they are a legitimate company and they are SEC approved. But this appears on the actual government website. And it's just, But what I'm getting at is these companies use these filings as a selling point when they don't actually mean shit. No one knows what they really mean anyway, except we do know that the SEC hasn't approved e-real estate. So that's just sort of where I'm coming from with a lot of the stuff that you hear. So let's just go back and listen to Jan Gregory for a couple of
Not
minutes.
losing. And you guys know that nobody came to crypto to lose. Everybody came to crypto to win. You know it. I know it. We all know it. So there
Just because people come to crypto to win does not mean listening to Jan Gregory means you're going to be a winner.
it is. There it is, family. Okay?
So 6,000 people, theoretically, he's saying signing up. Now, is that 6,000 people making a profit, or is any proof of anyone making a profit? And at the moment, if 6,000 people have deposited, they have got a shit ton of money coming in, haven't they? And now they just have to control the burn rate. But we all know that the hype of 6,000 people is just him telling you a bunch of lies, because this guy is a convicted fraudster.
So and it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where we have something so amazing and we've got it in the bag. So here we are. It is day 15. I'm a machine. Thank you all for supporting, trusting, and following.
So if you didn't know Jan Gregory, you would have had a look around his house one day, which he doesn't have anymore. And he had all these flash cars and he was looking like an Andrew Tate, really, talking about Andrew Tate's. It's just all bullshit.
Along with what we're doing. And without further ado, let me show you what we're up to. We have got Metatronics. It's a platform. It's a software. It's an app, and it runs in the world's most popular chat called Telegram. Everybody that's in crypto is in.
Now, this does sound like Mikey chat, just saying. Anyway, that's enough of Jan Gregory. If you are just so excited about Jan Gregory and you just can't help yourself, I'm just going to see whether I mentioned his YouTube channel. And if I do, I will add a link in my blog and see whether it's got 9 references to YouTube. Metatronics. Gregory was producing YouTube videos. Metatronics, recent global brand, company YouTube investigation, and YouTube channel. Author. My YouTube channel's in there. So let's go back. YouTube. Let's have a look. YouTube. All right. So I'm just going to rip the hem on your nightie here for a second, kids. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to actually read. I think that's where we're up to. I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs, and that gives me a chance to add that wee link in there, or that and I'm doing that. There will be a time where it says Jan Gregory, show me the proof, but just ignore that. But
why Jan Gregory immediately caught my attention. Jan Gregory, show me the proof. Jan Gregory, show me the proof. If there was one reason this investigation moved to the top of my list, it was Jan Gregory. I've spent years documenting cryptocurrency investment schemes that promised passive income through automated trading, artificial intelligence, arbitrage, copy trading, and other supposedly revolutionary technologies. While every platform has its own branding, one thing rarely changes: the promoters. Certain individuals appear time and time again, enthusiastically introducing what they describe as the next big opportunity before quietly moving on to the next platform when the previous one collapses. Jan Gregory has become one of the most recognizable names in that cycle. PDF Gregory's history is well documented. In August 2023, California's Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, DFPI, issued multiple enforcement actions naming him in connection with CoinMarketBull, CloudFi, and Vortic United. According to the regulator, those companies were offering unqualified securities through high-yield cryptocurrency investment programs while promoting unrealistic returns to investors. CoinMarketBull advertised returns of up to 1.8% per day, while CloudFi promoted daily returns of 1.25%. Regulators concluded that investors were being offered securities in violation of California law, and Gregory himself was named in the respective enforcement orders.
Yeah, so that was the first one that we've got. And then we've got his regulatory history extends beyond the United States. The Alberta Security Commissions in Canada previously. So now we come off to another one here. Now this one here is the one I actually thought I was looking at before. But it talks about everybody that was on it. It's a whole index of just talking about how naughty Jan Gregory is. And I do remember down the bottom here, they actually listed how much money he had to pay. So I think he got like something stupid like $40,000 worth of court fees. Here it is here. So we accepted that $125,000 fair assessment. He was an arrogant prick in the court system as well. It actually states that in here. So according to we conclude that it is appropriate and reasonable to order his name, Shitato, whatever, that's actually his other name, Shirato, to pay $125 of the investment and bearing the cost. So bearing the cost, I think that means he had to pay the court fees. Here it is there. So administration penalty of $40,000. So he got fined 165,000 Canadian dollars, which I think is about 145 American dollars. And that was back in September the 19th. Ever since then, the Alberta Security Commission has been after him. And right now I should actually be emailing them and telling them we know where he is. They may have an expedite thingy where they can actually scoot him out of there. So yeah, that's what. So I'll just read that next paragraph so you've got all
His
that.
regulatory history extends beyond the United States. The Alberta Securities Commission in Canada previously sanctioned Gregory, ordering him to pay approximately 165,000 Canadian dollars after finding he had breached Alberta securities laws. The commission noted that Gregory accepted little responsibility for his conduct and instead blamed others while showing contempt toward those harmed by his actions. Those findings were published well before Metatronics ever appeared.
Yeah, so what makes this historically particularly relevant is Gregory hasn't distanced himself from these failed ventures. Instead, he's continued promoting one investment platform after another. Following the collapse of CoinMarketBull. Now, CoinMarketBull was funny because I had one of my Avengers, actually, not one of my dear Anne, Anne rang me up one day and she said to me, hey, Jan Gregory's offering people $500. All you need to do is sign up for this platform. And I said, I'm not signing up for that. Why wouldn't you sign up? You'll get $500. So everyone rushed. I think it was 10 or 12,000 people. I don't even know if that was the right numbers looking back. All signed up to get their free $500. However, when you signed up, you'd get a $500 credit, but it wasn't redeemable until you actually referred $5,000 worth of business into the platform. That means you would get 10% for referring your friends or family into it. So every trick, but I remember that one there, I thought, oh, that's crazy. And it was even like tempting. Why wouldn't I sign up and get $500 worth of crypto? Because the app is fake. Everything's fake. And you're just giving the money and it's getting taken off to Chinese. And he's got a lot to do with Vietnamese people who run these scams. Now, we've got another scam at the moment, I believe is a $350 million scam called Smart Lab. And it was ran out of Vietnam as well. So all these criminals hang out together. And I tell you what, I was talking to my Avengers just before we went live. I didn't tell you about my catastrophe that we were having at home before I went live today. We have a mouse in the house and we were trying to find it. I was having a team meeting with the Avengers. And while that was happening, somebody in my house was freaking out about the mouse that was running around the house. We still haven't captured him, but there's a mouse in the house running around. So long story short, we have got a mouse in the house and he's just doing the same old stuff he's always done and no one really stops him. But what I was saying to the Avengers, I can't wait until a government department gets me and my team and the Avengers in there and we go through these individuals one at a time and show the history of these people promoting these unregulated securities, because I think that's where the future of our database. And I said to my Avengers, I don't know anybody in the world that has a database like we do on all these bottom feeders like Jane Gregory. Anyway, so following the collapse of CoinMarketBull, he quickly moved to, what's that called?
Invisible AI.
Invisible AI, describing it publicly as the replacement. Since then, his promotional activity has continued across numerous crypto opportunities, each presented with remarkable similar language about automation, artificial intelligence, and passive income, financial freedom, all those things, those buzzwords that everyone likes to hear that is really hard to attain. You know, I work from home and I would be sure to say that some of my income may be passive to a certain degree. I have online shops and I do drop shipping. That's how I survive. But recently, I saw one website in the last 6 months. We were selling websites every 6 to 8 weeks. And now all of a sudden it just stops, you know, and it's kind of thinking about, well, you know, nothing is certain, you know, and you've got to pivot with different things that you're doing. But the concept of having a passive income where you do little work and receive money for doing nothing is just a big dream. Very few people would be privileged. Active incomes are different, aren't they? That's where you actually have to work to make the money work for you. So I do blogs, people search for them, people ask us for advice, and people donate to the work that we do. I still have to sit here. Like last night, I was up here until I think 2:30, 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30. But I wrote that blog about estate. It took me an hour and a half to write it, but it took me probably 25 hours to think about what I was going to write and also what I've gathered over the months. And then I poke out a blog in an hour and a half. Somebody will reach out to me and they'll still be doubting whether real estate is real. And it blows you away. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I generate income from my content. People donate to me. Technically, you could say that's passive income. I wake up in the morning and somebody buys a coffee. But the reality is I'm actually working 70 to 80 hours a week to generate income from the work I've done previously. And I don't know anything that's passive other than buying real estate and waiting for the economy to go up. That's a passive income, isn't it? All right. So I'm probably more about active incomes. You work and you get paid. I don't know what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, but they're selling passive income, or what do they call it? Some sort of income where you do nothing for your money. And that's just not real, not realistic. Very few people would be able to pull that one off. But that's what they keep selling people because that sounds ideal. That brings us to Metatronics. Within hours of the platform launching its latest marketing campaign, Gregory was already producing enthusiastic YouTube videos. And I added that link in there. So if you go to the blog, you'll be able to go there and go to his YouTube channel, encouraging viewers to join his own investment journey. In one recent video, he showcased withdrawals, discussed his growing returns, and promoted the platform's AI trading system, as though it represented another exciting opportunity. For experienced investigators, that alone does not prove anything about Metatronics itself, but it does provide a compelling reason to examine every claim with far greater scrutiny than glossy marketing material might otherwise receive. Every now and again I get on the internet, and if I'm doing a story like I'm doing now, I just basically get in there and I search for the brand, right? And I see there will be crypto recovery companies offering an opportunity to get your money back. And that's all part of it. You've got these individuals, which I know nothing about. Now, is this guy associated with Jan Gregory? I can just about guarantee he is. So let's just have a look for shits and giggles, and let's see what this guy's offering.
Oh my God, I just got paid from Metatronics again, my daily payout, and my upline put $200,000 into this thing. Yeah, for real, stay tuned.
But before we go any further, quick
he sound like a Russian?
disclaimer. This is not a financial advice, guys.
So why does he need a disclaimer if he's making that much money and he believes in the program so much?
Crypto trading and investing involves high risk. You can lose some of all of your money is possible, but you can also make a lot of money.
But he just showed you how much money he made, like it's a sure deal. And now he's telling you can lose all your money. Not his problem.
What is Metatronics? It's algorithmic investment platform that uses AI-powered trading strategies. The idea is simple. Instead of you sitting there trying to trade manually and making emotional decisions, the system runs on.
So, like you could go through this guy's YouTube channel. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're doing your own investigation, this is what I normally do. The first thing I would want to do, if I saw this guy on the internet, I'd go to behind MLM. I would chuck his name into his oh, this isn't working. Alex. Let's see what happened here. Hey, Andrew Tate's been. So now I've just chucked him in there, and I can probably, I think that will do. I'll just see if I can get his name. And I'll see if, there it is. So what's this guy here? So this person here. So this guy has been promoting this. I don't even know this opportunity, but you see where I'm getting at is all these guys. Here it is here. So this guy here, behind him are readers, 30 Formula, Justin, whatever, all these other names, Alberto. 30 days success. So how old's this program? This was back in March 2021. So we've already got this guy sitting here telling you it's the best thing since sliced bread. He's already got a history of promoting other failed Ponzi schemes and scams. And I'm going to subscribe to him because I want to know what he's promoting next. And I can guarantee you, if you want to, he's got 1,300 videos. If I click on the more button, you can see all the side hustles he's promoting. You can see his email address, which I might do. I could add him into my database, which I don't think I have. And he's just got a Gmail account, so he doesn't look like he's anybody. I can. I'm just going to have a quick look at my own database. Let's see what we've got here. Right, glad I brought that up. Right, so we're back to my own database. I go in here and I search for him, and I have nothing on him. So, okay. So what am I getting at? Why am I doing that? Well, that's just one individual. But if you were trying to do research on this one here, then all you need to do is just go to the bottom, midway down his YouTube channel, right? And you can just about guarantee that he doesn't delete his videos because he's hoping to, So this guy, right, so what have we got now? Affiliate money step by step. This reminds me of our other friend that we don't see too much of at the moment, the Batman guy. And there will just be video after videos. Oh, hold it a minute. 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, 6 years ago, he hasn't got that many videos. So he's just come to life again in the last year. Okay, so we've got a year in the last year. Now we're into the last year. Oh, we've got products. I don't even know the products, but he's trying to make money online, and he's using the same artwork you get from XRP, from Canva. Let's have a look. But normally you find other things that those guys are promoting. Anyway, let's not get distracted too much here. Sorry. Who else have we got here? Metatronics, Jan Gregory. Ha, look, even my video's live now. Here's that guy again. This is so funny. So this is meant to be the real professor. Anyway, let's not get distracted, but you can search around the internet, find these people, find that they have got a history of promoting this rubbish, and it's not rocket science. And I'm doing this in real time just to show you how easy it is for you guys to actually do your own research. So don't get carried away with the charismatic gaslighting that they have. Anyway, I'm just going to get this paragraph read so I can keep up with the messages in the chat room.
At first glance, Metatronics presents itself as exactly the kind of platform many cryptocurrency investors have been searching for. Rather than asking users to learn technical analysis, monitor charts, or actively trade volatile markets, it promises something far simpler. Deposit your funds, connect to its Telegram mini app, and allow its artificial intelligence to trade on your behalf. According to the company, the system automatically allocates capital across multiple algorithmic strategies, manages risk, executes trades around the clock, and allows users to withdraw whenever they choose.
Well, it just sounds awesome, doesn't it? Earn passive income from royalties on music publishing, but it's because I have contributed to songs that become stapler to big artist fans. What are we talking about? Does that make sense to me? Sorry, I didn't quite get you on that one, mate. Crypto and stocks are only going to earn you passive income related to your stake in position. ETH lets you stake, VOO pays a dividend, etc. But you live off that passive. Yeah. So, I think what you're saying is another mini app. I think what you're trying to say there, well, I'm not reading it right, my apologies, is that earning a passive income is extremely rare. But that's what they keep selling you, that you basically give them your money, walk away, and they do all the work for you. The platform describes itself as an AI-powered algorithmic cryptocurrency trading ecosystem, claiming more than 100 And remember, Jan Gregory has just signed up 6,000 users apparently. So they, in total, have 169,000 users, approximately 6.1 million under management, operations across more than 45 countries, 98.7 success rate. Now, that's just unheard batshit crazy stats that don't even make sense. And an average withdrawal time of less than 3 hours. The visitors are told the platform operates continuously using 4 independently trading strategies, including hedging, all the words that you'd expect to hear in an investment, trend trading, arbitrage, and high-frequency trading. Oh, it's all exciting. With artificial intelligence continuously redistributing capital to maximize performance while limiting risk. Everything is presented through an attractive website filled with polished graphics, real-time counters, and language designed to inspire confidence. Perhaps the most appealing aspects of Metatronics is how little effort it claims users need to make. There's no previous trading experience required, no complicated exchange accounts to manage, and no technical knowledge expected. Investors simply fund their accounts, ding, 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 their accounts using USDT, Telegram stars, and other supported payment methods, transfers those funds into trading balances. The system supposedly handles everything else automatically. The website repeatedly reinforces the message that users no longer need to compete with professional traders because sophisticated algorithms are now doing all the work on their behalf. Now, you do wonder why these traders, these professional traders that have been doing all the hard work for years and years and years, don't just throw it all in, give these guys your money, and sit back and enjoy life. Because once you've basically given them your money, it's all good to go. You just don't need to do anything. Is that right? Is that what they're telling us? To strengthen the message, Metatronics emphasizes accessibility at every opportunity. Deposits can reportedly begin from as little as $5. Registration is completed through Telegram, which is a red flag. I've got my red flag somewhere around here. Somewhere. Anyway, the red flag. Through Telegram, the company is prominently advertises. No KYC details, so they're not worried about you, who you are, so you can hide your identity. Unlimited withdrawals, and your capital always stays under control. But the question is, whose control? Theirs or yours? These are powerful selling points, particularly for newcomers who may have been intimidated by traditional trading platforms or frustrated by exchanges that require extensive identity verification for allowing individuals. So look, if you're worried about it, guys, and you're thinking, look, I just can't get my head around this. You just need to figure out how to get your money over to them. And then you can sit there on a fake app looking at your balances growing, doing nothing. Does that sound too good to be true? Think about it. Yes, it does. You don't want to do that. On the surface, it is impressive. It's an impressive presentation. The branding is modern. The marketing feels professional. The educational content is extensive. And unlike many anonymous crypto projects, Metatronics even introduces a public-facing CEO. Now, you're going to love this. You're going to absolutely love this one. And Brandon Peak. For many potential investors, those factors alone may be enough to create confidence. However, as we learnt from investigating hundreds of investment opportunities over the years, a professional website is not evidence of a professional investment operation. The real test comes when somebody begins comparing the marketing claims with the underlying documents, company records, independent verifiable evidence. That's where the investigation started to become far more interesting. The first red flag, the story doesn't quite add up. One of the first things we do when investigating many investment opportunities is put the marketing to the side and start building a timeline. When the company was incorporated, when did the first domain name appear? Who were the people behind it? Where did they become involved? Most legitimate businesses can answer these questions with a straightforward consistent history. With Metatronics, however, the timeline quickly became less clear. Now, let me explain this. So the company began behind the platform is it Validilla Limited?
Vienna Holding Limited.
Vienna Holding Limited. What a pretty name. A Hong Kong entity incorporated, get this, in December 2025. Okay? That immediately raises my attention because Metatronics simultaneously represents itself as an established ecosystem with long operating history. Throughout its website, the company refers to having 24 months of operating history, more than 300 days without incidents, and a mature platform that has supposedly been through multiple development phases before reaching its current hallelujah stage. Those claims deserve careful scrutiny because they don't sit comfortably alongside a company that appears to have only recently been incorporated. So if your company's brand new, then okay, you've changed your name. Why did you change it? Anyway, we'll not get into that. But anyway, if they have changed the name, what the old name used to be, that's what I'd be thinking. Adding to the confusion is the platform's own roadmap. According to Metatronics, the project's technological foundation, Telegram mini app, and first users are established during phase 1. Now, remember, we just watched Mikey, didn't we? Mikey from the released Mikey app. And it's all about these Telegram bots now, isn't it? Right. Don't get into that, ladies. Phase 1, which concluded in late 2025. Phase 2 supposedly introduced greater transparency, expanded reporting, and a growing user base before the platform entered its current scaling phase. Yet otherwise, the company suggests the system has been operating for more than 2 years without identifying any earlier legal entity or a predecessor company. Those timelines are difficult to reconcile. So if you're going to say that, prove it, give us evidence, show us the receipts. But in the meantime, everything doesn't balance. It doesn't make sense, and it definitely doesn't make sense. I also searched for historical evidence of the platform's online presence. Surprisingly, the Wayback Machine contains no active archive history of Metatronics' website. While the absence of archive pages doesn't prove anything in itself, it does remove one of the easiest ways to independently verify how long a company has been operated and how its claims have evolved over time. Establishing technology companies traditionally leave a digital trail through archive websites, announcements, and earlier versions of their platform. In this case, the trail is remarkably thin, and we do it all the time. I mean, to give you an idea, if we were to look at we go to, now I'm not a corporation, you know what I mean? I'm just Danny, and I go to Metatronics.global, and I find nothing. All right. So if I went to archive.org and I decided that I'm going to put in my favorite website, well, let's do behind MLM this time. Let's go behind MLM.com. Well, look at this, 2010, right? 2010. And look at the traffic. This is the amount of times that the bots visit his website to get the archive pages of his thing. So let's go right back to the very start and let's see the very first time that anyone actually, the Wayback Machine actually ever scraped behind MLM's website. This could be really interesting because I've never done this. Is it going to load up? It says it's loading up. Here it is. And while that's loading up, I'm going to show you my own experience. So we come here and you enter dheck.com. All right. And you can now go back and see that my website's been registered since 2001. And I'm going to have a look at my very first website. Oops, is that going to work? There it is. And now I'm going to go back to behind MLM. So this is the very first pages, the very first review, theoretically, that he's actually done. And this was his website. Isn't that cool? And these are, now look at where he's got that website to today. But isn't that great that you can go back there and find a history? This is my very first website. I used to have a travel and tourism network. This wasn't the domain name that I used to run it under, but I used to point the domain name to the same place. And as time goes through, you can come through here and you can click on the latest, and it will probably turn into a business networking company now, or it may just still be travel and tourism network. So I was called New Zealand's Information Network, scanning the nation for your information. And I used to have a business that used to generate me quite a lot of money, selling advertising and looking after rental car operators and accommodation providers throughout New Zealand. So that's what I used to do, and that's why you'll find a lot of blogs on my website to do with, New Zealand. Anything from freshwater fisheries to our forest parks to the cost of living to hunting regions to national parks to scenic highlights. You named it, we had it. 15,000 page network of information. But you can go through, ladies and gentlemen, you can check out these domain names and you can have a look at the history. But when it comes to Metatronics, nothing. At this stage, I wasn't conducting anything improper. At this stage, I wasn't concluding that anything improper had occurred. New companies are launched every day. Websites don't always archive immediately, but when the business promotes itself as an experienced, mature operation, while the publicly available corporate history appears to relatively recent, that's exactly the sort of inconsistency I believe deserves closer examination. As this investigation continued, I found that this wasn't the only place where public marketing and underlying evidence seems to tell a different story. Company behind Metatronics. So we come here and we look at this company. So we look at Vienna Holdings Limited, and I actually, would you believe, paid to do a check on this company because it was very hard to find any proof that this company actually existed when they are based in Hong Kong. To set up a company in Hong Kong, you normally need hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not easy. But look at this. They have managed to register a company in Hong Kong, and everything else is not found. Revenue, employees, key principles, year they started, 2025. Latest update, July the 1st, 2025. The contract address, phone number not found, social media not found, publishing strength not found, location is obviously here, everything else, employees not found, nothing. So it's basically the shell of absolutely nothing. So it's just, this here means absolutely jack shit. As the company behind the platform, its website lists the entity at this place here. So this is where they claim their offices are. So we scooted in here, and I think we can even go and look at the building. So this I didn't even notice that last time. I didn't actually click on it, but apparently they are here somewhere. So it might be here where the Coca-Cola truck is. You would hope it would be in that building. It could be this one, and it could be this one. And then we have a look, and we go to the ceiling, and we could be up here. Now, I can't get up there, can I? Oh, maybe I can. That's interesting. Where are we now? We've gone somewhere. Whoa, look at that. Anyway, so that's where they are in Hong Kong. Hong Kong Kui. So that's good to know. Anyway, under new business registration number, blah, blah, blah. On paper, it gives the operation legal name, registration number, and a respectable commercial address. For many investors, that is enough to create impression that a substantial Hong Kong fintech business sits behind the website. So I paid, as I said, to attain business records, search Hong Kong company information. I searched because Hong Kong company information is not always easy to access. The result was surprisingly thin. The report identifies the company as a corporation established in 2025, but it lists no revenue, no employees, no key principal, I'm doubling up here, no telephone number, no social media presence, and no active import or export activity. It also provides no leadership details, no evidence of substantial operating business attached to the entity. So it basically provides us with a company registration that does nothing. That does not prove the company is fraudulent. Thank you, ChatGPT. Many new incorporated companies have little public information, particularly if they operate online. However, it matters when the same entity is present as the operator of the platforms claiming more than Get this. So they're claiming they've got 169,000 users and over 6 million in capital under management, 24-hour trading infrastructure, more than 20 AI agents, a global educational business, activity across dozens of countries. The scale of the marketing and the scale of the visible corporate footprint appears to be very different. So your big claims seem to be run nowhere. We've got no real offices. I love these companies. I don't know why they don't have a live camera available where you can see the office and the people working and claim that's their workers. I mean, why wouldn't they use technology these days? Why can't you go to the website and turn on the office cam and see all these people working here doing their trades? Because they will make an excuse and go, oh, they all work from home. The address also deserves context. So the building, MW Tower, is a genuine commercial building. So that was the one that we actually looked at there, ladies and gentlemen. I think if I go back, so that's it there. So here's the photo of the building they claim to be situated in. So let's have a wee look at, let's do 360 view. That's going to be fun. I think, we already did that, didn't we? So this is the building. Whoops. This is the building. Let's go right here. Oh, that truck's a pain in the bum. So this is the building they claim to be in, right? You got it? All right, follow this. So that's the M Tower, is a genuine commercial building, but the 7th floor address is used by numerous unrelated companies as a registered office or corresponding address. So there's other people, when we searched, we do this all the time, but let's say if we come down here and we're looking for that address there, right? Oop. And we just chuck that into, let's go here so we don't lose it when we come back. So we just chuck that into a search engine. And what we find is here, what does it say about this address rather than the company?
The address 7/FMW Tower, 111 Bonham Strand, Sheung-wan, Hong Kong is a prominent commercial building in Hong Kong's central Sheung-wan business district. Rather than being a single entity, the 7th floor serves as the registered office, corporate headquarters, or business address for multiple international firms, trading companies, and corporate services agencies.
So every scam that starts up basically would be wise to use that address because it's hard to validate whether there's any real business in there looking after 169,000 users and operating now in 41 countries and also got a whole lot of day traders sitting there doing day trading. Anyway, the address was reserved as, in context, we talk about the MW Tower as a genuine commercial building, but several floor addresses are used by numerous unrelated companies as a registered office of the correspondence address. Correspondence address, is that right?
Correspondence
address. That is legal and common in Hong Kong, where companies, secretaries, or virtual offices providers offer registration services for overseas businesses. So that means that let's say if you look up my company, you'll find an address and you'll think, oh, that's where Danny lives. Well, it isn't where I live. It's where my accountant lives. Does not mean, however, the address alone tells us very little about whether Metatronics has an actual operational team, trading desk, or technical infrastructure physically located there. The careful conclusion is that Metatronics uses fake. So the careful conclusion is not that Metatronics uses fake addresses. It is that the Hong Kong registration provides far less evidence of substance than the website presentation may lead investors to believe. A company certificate proves incorporation, but it does not prove trading activity, financial licensing, auditor performance, staff custody arrangements, or extensive or infrastructure being advertised. So if they're as big as they are, they would be proud to show you their offices. How the Metatronics model activity actually works. Another AI professor. I think, well, this one's not. This is the fun part, Nev. You wait until you hear this. Once I moved beyond the branding, the basic mechanics of Metatronics became much clearer. This is not simply a software subscription where users connect their own exchange account and retain direct control over every trade. The official presentation describes Metatronics as a deposit-based model designed for both passive participants and active members. Passive participants are encouraged to develop funds and earn from AI-driven trading activity, while active partners are encouraged to build teams and earn referrals and performance bonuses. Oh, so it's recruitment. The users are desperately simple. The journey is deliberately simple. Open the Telegram mini app, another mini app. Find the available balance, move the money to the trading balance, allow the system to allocate that capital across its strategies. It's got 4 strategies. Remember, users are not choosing individual trades, products, or algorithms. Metatronics' own legal terms state the capitals allocated is performed automatically. Allocation is so all the capital that you put in is basically split into 4 different ways. It's all automated automatically by the performance, and that the users accepts its full deception. I'm going to have to read this because I'm actually getting a bit tongue twisted and it's starting not to flow. So let's go back on track.
Metatronics' own legal terms state that capital allocation is performed automatically by the platform, and that the user accepts its full discretion over those decisions. That matters because it moves the arrangement well beyond an informational trading tool. The platform is effectively deciding how deposited capital is deployed, while presenting the resulting balance and returns through its own internal interface.
Now, that's really, really important, that, because basically their terms and conditions are like the sword that they fall on. If you go through the terms and conditions, they basically undo any promotional marketing activity. And as it said, they can do what they like with your money, if they are doing anything, which I doubt very much. The company says its system operates across 20 different exchanges using 4 principal strategies: high frequency trading, hedge, trend trading, and arbitrage. Its marketing describes as rebalancing progress, where capital is redistributed automatically depending on the market conditions. So basically it's going to go after the money. Yet the platform does not publicly identify the exchange, provide independent account statements, disclose the exact trading entries, or show what's that word? That's a good word.
Verifiable
Separation between participants' deposit and company-controlled funds. The website talks exclusively about transparency, but the most important part is the money flow remains hidden. So there's no proof of anything they're saying. And just imagine sitting there as a day trader, helping yourself to capital that's in the trading platform and going away and having to play. It's just ridiculous that even a company claims that they've got people doing that. The distinction is critical. If a user keeps funds in the exchange account held in their own name and grants a restricted trading API and gains a restricted trading API permission, that generally wow, this is tricky for me to read. Sorry, guys. So I have to get that read. It's not going.
API permission that can genuinely be described as non-custodial automation. If users transfer USDT into a pooled balance controlled by Metatronics and later request withdrawals from the platform, that is a very different arrangement. The website appears to use both descriptions at once, claiming that capital remains in the user's wallet, while also admitting that funds are stored in a secure pool and returned upon request. That contradiction sits at the heart of the entire operation.
So you get what they're saying. They're basically saying that you have total control of all your money all the time. However, they're also claiming that they have total control and your money sits in a secure pool. Well, it's not in a secure pool if it's in your own wallet. So there's the contradiction. You can't have your money, you can't have your cake and eat it too, perhaps. The return's been advertised. Now, this is the easiest way for anybody to wake up. If there is any return company out there that's returning such high yield investments, you'd have Donald Trump and Eric Trump all investing in these things all day long. Wouldn't you agree? Metatronics repeatedly attempts to distance itself from the idea that it is guaranteed profits. Its website includes warning risks stating that returns are not guaranteed and that crypto trading can result in partial or complete loss. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Yet, those disclaimers sit alongside highly specific performance claims designed to persuade people that the system regularly produces sustainable passive income. Remember the high yield guaranteed investment and the lose rate was very low? The official pitch deck advertised a baseline monthly return of 4% or more. And 4% per more. That is, I think it's $86,000 a year if you put $100,000 in, if that's consistent or more. And average targeting is approximately 12%. The peak months reaching 20%. It presents those figures in the section titled "How much can users make?" That describes the range as the expected yield from its passive model. On the website, Metatronics also claims 98.7 success rate. Are you buying this? More than 300 days without incident. Strict downline limits, draw line limits, and real-time performance tracking. None of those figures have been independently audited in the material I reviewed. So if anyone's got any proof of that consistency and that of the last 4 years, let me know. I'm all open to it. Jan Gregory goes even further in his own promotion. He tells viewers that Metatronics has been delivering returns in the 15 to 20% monthly range. This is getting better. Describes those returns as sustainable and gives examples of earning 1% in a single day. He claims that $100,000 balance can be produced from $1,000 on a 1% day and says the platform has recorded days of 1.1% or 1.2%, even up to 1.7%. He also claims to have deposited $200,000 and earned $6,800 during his first 7 days. So there you go. So he's claiming that he's made $7,000, but he's forgetting he's handed over $200,000. Jan Gregory's not worth anything at the moment. He's a washed-up scammer. He does not have $200,000. If anything, the people that are promoting the platform would have given an account with the balance of $200,000 and said, right, show everyone this, and we'll pretend that you're getting this, but you're not allowed to take any money out until you get lots of referrals. And obviously it's not going very well for him because, as I showed you, his video that was 9 hours long has had 19 visitors. During the first 7 days, those figures are displayed inside the platform's own interface, but the video does not prove that the returns came from external trading, rather an internal account credits or incoming participant deposits. Mathematics alone should make every investor pause. A consistent 12% monthly return would move more than triple capital in a year if compounded. A regular 1% daily return would produce results that no legitimate fund manager could describe as ordinary or low risk. Extraordinary performance is not impossible for short periods, like some of these meme coins. They go up in a flash, in a heartbeat, but we never know which one, and they grow like wildfire. But extraordinary claims require what? Extraordinary evidence. In this case, the evidence currently consists of internal dashboards, company-generated statistics, and promotional withdrawal videos. Yeah, if you want to be entertained, wait until you see the CEO. This is going to be really, really funny. Metatronics says its profits can be validated through publishing trading reports and on-chain records. However, the table included in its own presentation is simply labeled demonstration data. That is not proof of real trading. A genuine validation package, verification package would include identical exchange accounts, read-only access, complete trade histories, realized and unrealized losses. Is it realized? Have I saying that right? Let's have a wee look.
Realized and unrealized losses.
Unrealized losses, fees, leverage, wallet movements, and what was that word?
reconciliation,
Reconciliation, showing that trading profits, not later deposits, fund participation withdrawals. And look, I'm just no good at reading today. It's not my diet. It's a big blog.
not
This
later
one.
deposits, fund participant withdrawals. Until that evidence is produced, the advertised performance remains a marketing claim.
Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Now, this one here is going to blow you at wheeze. We've been used to using BG Wealth Sharing and them using a fake professor and all that sort of carry on. This guy looks legit. Unlike many cryptocurrency investment platforms that hide behind anonymous followers or stock photos, Metatronics has chosen to put a real person in front of the center. That person is Blakely Peak. So let's go away and have a look at Blakely Peak. I can't even say that. We've actually made that that's not what I wanted to do. But I was hoping that we were going to link through to his LinkedIn profile. Oh, we have. Who has presented throughout the website as the company founder, chief executive officer, and biologically I'm just going to actually get that right down to there because my life's not good today.
His biography is prominently featured. He appears in promotional videos, participates in interviews, and has an established LinkedIn profile documenting several years of professional activity in the cryptocurrency industry.
On the surface, the level of transparency appears refreshing. After investigating countless schemes fronted by actors or completely fictional executives, finding a genuine individual willingly to publicly represent the platform initially seems like a positive sign. So we actually did do that. It was a scam called Boomerang, and they actually had a real programmer genius behind it theoretically, and we did actually see him in real. But finished up, this guy, it was just like a paid actor. It was absolutely batshit crazy. So this is the guy's LinkedIn profile, and it claims that he's a blockchain and DeFi expert, advisor, and journalist. Oh, don't trust journalists. You come in here, and he's born on the 6th of February, apparently. So what I do is I normally come down here, and I read the About Us section, and I've got the featured area, and then I look at activity. And that's something I normally look at. So I'm not saying this fake. What I am saying, this here could be somebody else's LinkedIn account. They hijack it, they rebrand it out to their own, and that gives it the credibility that they need. Or what I normally do is I go to the activity area and I go to follow all. And when you come down here, you can see when the last time they posted. So this one was recent. Some of these were quite recent, which I thought was quite hard case. Reposted this. Does it give a date? It doesn't give a date, but some of these do have dates. And when you do, is it 2 months ago? That was posted 2 months ago. So, and you can see, I don't even know if this is him.
Tuning. You can look at weak chips and then tune them down. You can take strong chips, tune them up. You can manage fan responses, overheating as well. And this stuff all increases the lifespan. Reduces all of these issues with thermal stress and longevity, right? So I'll repeat again, when you semicolons with our developer recommendations, the machines on Vnish will live the same lifetime as they would on stock Bitmain firm, okay? And also you've got to think about our market share, right? In the market, according to Cambridge's most recent digital mining report, we're looking at about 26.4% market share. That's when we consider stock firmware as well. So we are the largest firmware provider in the market by far. If you compare us just with, say, custom firmware markets, you're looking at around 85% market share. Now, it is impossible, since we've been working since 2017, that using Vnish would damage the lifespan of these machines. So it's a complete myth. So that's what I'd say.
Right, and then maybe in line with this question, and maybe a question that you get often as well, like, if you apply custom firmware, you often lose the warranty on a machine.
Warranty.
So I was wondering, what do you advise to miners? Like, should they apply?
So I don't know. Is this guy something to do? But normally I go through here and I read through, try to find out who this guy is, and like we've got photos of him here.
So in Russia, there's this term "закаляться." It means to fortify oneself against the cold. So that's what we're doing today.
Oh my God. It'd be cold.
I am fortified.
He's fortified, everyone. So, it's a bit strange that we find, these since early 70s, Libya has been, I don't even know what that word,
Subsidizing.
subsidizing things like energy products to keep basic stuff cheap for the average person. I don't know. But anyway, you go through here. What I'm getting at, guys, this looks like a legitimate CEO's website, LinkedIn profile. So it always makes it a little bit harder for us to convince people, okay, this one's real. But he's still providing a scam. But one thing, I don't know, did we find Metatronics? So head of sales, Metatronics. So he's been there. Notice he's been there for 5 months. So this company's meant to be going for 4 years. So I don't know how to actually explain what's going on here. I believe it's deception. If I look at Metatronics, maybe it's a real company name. It tells us that it's based in Hong Kong. Maybe they've just started calling themselves Metatronics. Maybe this one has, I don't know. So if you go to Metatronics down here, it tells us that it's got people in it. I wonder if Jan Gregory is going to be in there. So you can come through here and you can read all the people that are associated. A lot of these, I don't know why these LinkedIn people are blurred out. Keep their privacy. Don't know, but that's unusual for a company to have 1, 2, 3, 4 blurred out people. And obviously when you come down here, like I said, if you click on here, it takes you off to their website. So what's going on? Anyone know? Anyone can tell me? Peak's background is certainly more substantial than any other crypto executive I've researched, as I've just showed you. He holds a MPhil in thermal. I'm just going to have to read all this because I'm just not in the reading mood today. Brain's not working.
He holds an MPhil in Theoretical and Applied Linguistics from the University of Cambridge and a Bachelor of Arts in Classics and Classical Languages from King's College London. Before joining Metatronics, he built a career around cryptocurrency journalism, research, business development and marketing. His LinkedIn profile documents roles with SumsUp, a respected identity verification and compliance company, as well as work with Cointograph, in Crypto, CoinsPaid and other Web3 businesses. His digital footprint stretches back years, includes videos, conference appearances and published articles, and appears entirely genuine.
Yeah. So what's going on? That's what I want to know. However, if you were that intelligent and you had that much background in crypto, would you really hire somebody that's got a history like Jan Gregory to represent your company? That's probably the biggest criticism I'll have for him. However, as I compared Blakely Peak's own published career history in the bio present on the Metatronic website, I began noticing significant differences. The company describes himself as the former head of product at Samsung, whatever it is, claiming that under his leadership, that platform expanded to 24 million users across more than 220 countries. I don't know there's that many countries in the world. His LinkedIn profile tells a different story. It lists his position at ScrubSub as sales negotiator, followed by regional sales manager and media host. His profile also publicly mentions that the educational videos are hosted accumulated more than 24 million views, but it does not claim he personally led the company's product strategy or scaled its global user base. Those are two different achievements. Okay, so there seems to be some contract there. The principles do not stop there. What's it called?
Discrepancies
Don't stop there. Metatronics repeatedly refers to Blakely Peak as having more than 12 years of fintech and digital product experience, a career spanning institutional markets technology and expertise building algorithmic, I can't even say it, but anyway, Algorithmic trading systems. Yet publicly available resume is dominated by communications, journalism, sales, consulting, and business development, rather than quantitative trading, software engineering, or fund management. There is nothing inherently wrong with that background. In fact, it's an impressive career on its own, but it's not the same career being described on Metatronics' website when the company begins embellishing the qualifications of its own CEO. It eventually raises an important question. If investors are expected to trust the platforms with its money, why would exaggerate the credentials that are already publicly available? So it sounds like they've basically put him under the limelight on the website, but it's not backed up by his LinkedIn profile. So it's crazy. A founder who appears to have arrived late. So let's just have a listen to this.
The timeline surrounding Bradley Peake's role creates another problem. His LinkedIn profile lists him as Chief Executive Officer of Metatronics from March 2026, yet the company presents him as its founder and simultaneously claims the platform has operated for more than 24 months. Metatronics also says it had working infrastructure, first users and active trading cycles before the end of 2025. If Peake only became CEO in March 2026, then who created the platform, who operated it before his arrival, and who was responsible for accepting deposits during that earlier period?
Now, notice open source intelligent investigators don't need to prove anything when you've got this type of inconsistencies between LinkedIn and the website. You would come to think, why do people not ask the questions? Why have you got those dates wrong?
There are several possible explanations. Peake may have been involved privately before updating his LinkedIn profile. He may have joined an existing platform and later been presented as the founder. He may be the public-facing executive for a business controlled by other people, or the claimed operating history may simply be exaggerated. The problem is that Metatronics provides no clear answer. The website repeatedly refers to a fully doxed founding team, yet the rest of that team remains unidentified. Instead, investors are given anonymous headcounts, developers, traders and infrastructure specialists, without names, biographies, employment histories or qualifications.
So I just watched a rugby game last night and it was sold out. I think that they can have, well, I don't know if it was sold out actually, but some of these grandstands can have 50,000 people on them. Have you ever been to a rugby game and then there's 50,000, or a soccer game and there's 50,000 people in the audience? Remember, this company's claiming that they have 168,000 people who have signed up. So if that's the case, that's an extraordinary claim. How do they manage all these people? And why have they got so many inconsistencies with their LinkedIn profile versus their web's profile of the guy that's meant to be absolutely amazing? So there's several possible explanations. Peake have moved, so all those reasons that they give, yes, we could actually say, we could try and figure out why they have made mistakes, but let's just carry on. Let's see what else we can
That lack of transparency matters because Peake appears to be the only identifiable person carrying the platform's public credibility. His face, Cambridge education, media experience and established LinkedIn profile are used to reassure potential investors that Metatronics is different from the anonymous Telegram schemes that have come before it. Yet when the company's history is examined closely, the person described as founder appears publicly connected only after the platform supposedly had already been operating for a significant period.
Yes, I remember we reached out to this guy and theoretically asked him for a right of reply. The very least you think they could write back and tell me to F off, but they don't, and even their email bounces. So what type of company has 169,000 users and their email that's on their website bounces when people email it?
Peake's established background also creates a particularly uncomfortable contradiction around compliance. He previously worked for SumZub, a company specializing in KYC, AML and identity verification. He should therefore understand better than most why customer identification, sanctions screening and source of funds checks matter. Metatronics, however, prominently advertises no kike while accepting cryptocurrency deposits through Telegram and promoting itself globally. The legal terms later reserve the right to demand verification and freeze accounts if users refuse, but the public sales pitch uses the absence of verification as a benefit.
Yeah, so what we're saying there, guys, he works for a company that specializes at providing KYC details, sets up a new company, and you don't need KYC details. Are you shitting me? A genuine CEO does not create accountability, but only if that person answers the difficult question. Blakely Peak now needs to explain when he first became involved, whether his own or controls the company behind the outfit, who the other founders are, what trading system he personally verified, and why the biology published as I can't even say that word, can I?
Biography
Published under his name differs substantially from the own professional record. Until those questions are answered, his public identity gives Metatronics a face, but not the independent evidence needed to validate the business behind it. The man promoting Metatronics. So here he is here doing his snow dance, doing his angel wings in the snow. This is what we call his polished corporate face. Jan Gregory gives it access to the exact audience, almost likely to respond to promises of passive income. All right, Gregory is not presenting himself as a casual user. In his own words, he is the global brand ambassador for Metatronics, and his recent YouTube videos show him actively recruiting viewers, directing them to referral links, explaining the affiliate structure, and demonstrating how these claims of daily rewards. The claims of daily rewards from a $200,000 account. In one video he published only 2 hours before I reviewed it, Gregory describes Metatronics as a return on autopilot and told viewers that passive incomes are arriving every day. While the software didn't work, he claimed he had earned more in a week than many people earn an entire month. Then asked his audience whether they would rather go to work or kick back their feet, while Metatronics generated returns. He repeatedly encouraged viewers to use the link, accept the free $20 account credit, deposit $100 to activate the affiliate system, and begin earning from both the trading side and the recruitment side. So it's all recruitment. There's no trading. It's just great, absolutely batshit crazy. Look, I'm not very good at reading today, so let's just get these paragraphs
Gregory
read.
also claimed the platform had 167,000 active members, operated across more than 20 exchanges, and had been delivering monthly returns in the region of 15% to 20%. He described those returns as sustainable, said the platform often produced 1% days, and showed an internal account balance that he said represented a personal $200,000 deposit. According to his own figures, the account had generated $6,800 over 7 days. He then submitted a $600 withdrawal request while telling viewers that earlier withdrawals had arrived within minutes.
Wow, how about that? The problem is not simply that Gregory's is enthusiastic. It is the marketing language closely resembles the language used by previous crypto investment schemes linked to him. Passive income, AI trading, sustainable returns, fast withdrawals, referral commissions, low risks, and social proof through selected payments are not new themes in his promotional history. They are the same themes regulators have already documented in connection with other platforms he's helped promote. That history makes his role in Metatronics possible to treat as a minor detail. Yeah, so here he is showing everything that you ever want. It just doesn't make sense. Right, so the question is, if we're going on about Jan Gregory, has he been here before? One of the biggest mistakes investors make is looking at each new opportunity in isolation. They see a polished website, a persuasive presentation, and a charismatic promoter. They never stop to ask the simple question: what was the promoter saying about the last opportunity? That's why history matters. It provides context that marketing deliberately leaves out. Jan Gregory's history, based on internet rumors, aren't based on internet rumors or anonymous accusations. It's based on it has been documented by regulators since 2023. The California's Department of Financial Protection and Innovation used enforcement action against companies that he was promoting, the Ko-Fi, Coinbase, and Metatronics. What do they call that word again? I hate when I can't read the words. Vortec United named Gregory in connection with each of those operations. The regulator stated that these companies were soliciting funds from investors to
purportedly
trade cryptocurrencies on their behalf while offering what was described as unqualified securities. In CloudFi state, Greg was identified as the company's chief executive, while CoinMarketBull described him as the global leader and corporate brand manager, and Vortec United listed as chief marketing officers. So all these companies that are relatively big names at the time they were, and when they come out, he's actually the man behind the scenes. And I'm going to read this paragraph.
The similarities between those earlier platforms and Metatronics are difficult to ignore. Each promoted automated or professionally managed cryptocurrency trading. Each promised attractive passive returns while minimizing the need for investors to understand the underlying markets. Each encouraged deposits in cryptocurrency, rewarded recruitment through referral commissions, and relied heavily on social media and online presentations to build confidence. While that alone does not prove Metatronics operates the same way, it establishes a pattern that any reasonable investor should take seriously.
Yeah, you've got to look at these patterns these days. Perhaps the most significant finding came from the CloudFi enforcement order. California regulators concluded that CloudFi had failed to disclose that a significant proportion of investors' funds were being used to pay purported returns to other investors in the manner of a Ponzi scheme. So basically, he's running a Ponzi scheme using new investors' monies to pay out old investors. That finding does not come from bloggers or critics. It comes from financial regulators after reviewing the evidence available to it. Gregory declined wrongdoing in a regulation of various matters over the years, but the documented regulatory history remained part of the record. This is precisely why I believe Jan Gregory's involvement deserves far more attention than it currently receives. If Metatronics generally represents a completely different kind of business with independently verifiable trading, automated performance, and sustainable external revenue, then its management should have anticipated that adopting Gregory as a global brand investor would have invite scrutiny. They would just, it's no brainer. If you've got this guy in your company, you need to get your head read. His track record means prospective investors are entitled to ask tougher questions, demand stronger evidence, and expect a much higher level of transparency before accepting the platform's claims at face value. So there he is, the man himself. And I think if you click on that, it will actually take you off to his video. And does it? It does. So that was the video that I went through and got the transcript out of.
Pick your feet back up on your desk, hit go on your trading app, Metatronics, and you want to see the ROI pull in. And in a week, I've made more than Buddy, double what Buddy's making at his job for a month. Like, whew. Come on, you guys. Are we not in the best times of our lives? Are we not living the ultimate dream right now? Are we not blessed beyond blessed? Are we not just Oh man, we are living the best life right now. Being able to use software like this, and it's free, and we give you $20 to try it, and it's free, and we put $20 in your account. Smash that link in the description. Start today. Light up that Metatronics Telegram app and start making bacon. All right.
Oh my God. It's just unheard of, isn't it? Anyway, that was the video there. I did leave the link there so you can click on it and you can listen to the one, but I don't know how long that video is going to be online. All right, so we're actually going to read the whole section now because I'm actually so tired. I'm actually starting to fall asleep while I'm doing YouTubing, and that's not a good thing, apparently. It's just showing you that I'm really engaged. But let's have a listen to this.
The fine print few investors will ever read. One of the first things I do after reviewing the marketing material is download the terms and conditions. In my experience, the legal documents often tell a very different story from the sales presentation. Marketing is designed to attract deposits. Contracts are designed to protect the company. The real question is whether the two tell the same story. In the case of Metatronics, they don't. The website repeatedly tells visitors they can withdraw anytime, that no KYC is required, that their capital remains under their control, and that the platform offers a transparent, automated investment experience. Those are powerful selling points. They create the impression that users remain firmly in control, while the artificial intelligence simply performs the trading. However, once I started reading the legal terms, those reassuring promises quickly became far more qualified. One of the most significant clauses appears in Article 3.3, where Metatronics states that capital allocation is performed automatically by the platform, and that the user agrees to the full discretion of those decisions. That is an important admission. The platform isn't simply providing software for users to operate themselves. It is deciding how deposited capital is allocated across its own trading strategies. That sits uneasily beside other parts of the website describing the service as merely informational or educational. The withdrawal provisions are equally revealing. While the homepage advertises unlimited withdrawals, the terms explain that withdrawals may be delayed or restricted because of technical limitations, security procedures, legal requirements, internal reviews, or any other circumstances determined by the platform at its own discretion. The company also makes it clear that it does not guarantee processing times. Those qualifications fundamentally change the meaning of the marketing. Saying users can withdraw at any time is very different from saying the company can delay or restrict withdrawals whenever it considers it appropriate. Another contradiction involves identity verification. Metatronics prominently promotes no-kike as one of its competitive advantages, yet later in the terms it reserves the right to request identification whenever transaction limits are exceeded, suspicious activity is detected or regulators require it. If a user refuses to comply, the platform may restrict functions, suspend operations or block the account entirely. In other words, no-kike doesn't actually mean KYC will never be required. It simply means the company decides when it becomes necessary. Perhaps the most extraordinary clause appears in the limitation of liability section. Metatronics attempts to limit its total legal responsibility to the lesser of the amount paid during the previous 30 days, or just €100. Think about that for a moment. The platform encourages users to deposit significant amounts of cryptocurrency, with promoters discussing six-figure balances and substantial passive income. Yet if something goes seriously wrong, the company appears to be attempting to cap its legal liability at €100. Whether such a clause would ultimately be enforceable in every jurisdiction is another matter, but its inclusion tells investors a great deal about where the company believes the risk should sit. The terms continue in the same vein. Metatronics reserves the right to change its conditions without notice, suspend or terminate accounts, discontinue the service altogether, determine which country's laws apply to disputes, choose the jurisdiction where disputes must be heard, and even interpret its own terms if disagreements arise. Individually, some of these provisions are common in online agreements. Taken together, however, they paint a very different picture from the simple, investor-friendly marketing presented on the homepage. The glossy website promises certainty, accessibility and control. The legal contract gives Metatronics remarkably broad powers while significantly limiting the protections available to its users.
Wow, it's just absolutely batshit crazy, isn't it? So I was just going to look up their terms to see whether I can add a link to those because they're actually just unheard unheard of. To say things like our limitations are only, we're only liable up to $100 is basically saying to people that have lost all their money, that if we've lost, there's no point going after the money, which is because they're only going to honor $100 of it, and it's just all this bullshit that they get away with. So it must be legal information, but I'm sure there was terms and conditions in here, because it looks like I've quoted to them. If I went like this and went terms of access, there's no terms, just terms of this. So suspension, maybe these here had a link that went off to somewhere else when I grabbed them at the time. But that is just amazing. So if you do read the terms and conditions, you're basically buggered. They won't be enforceable, but they put them in there anyway, like they have some authority to tell you that if you listen to their marketing, they're absolutely incredible. But if you read their terms, it's so a contradiction to what their marketing. Transparency or the appearance of transparency. Throughout Metatronics' website, one word appears again and again, and that is transparency. That's what you want to hear, but the reality is...
The company says it has nothing to hide. It advertises real-time statistics, live dashboards, bi-weekly income reports, transparent trading logic and blockchain verification. It repeatedly contrasts itself with anonymous crypto projects by claiming that investors can independently verify what is happening behind the scenes. For anyone who has spent time investigating investment schemes, those are exactly the kinds of claims that deserve to be tested rather than simply accepted.
Well, it's just stupid. I mean,
the first thing I noticed is that nearly all of the impressive numbers displayed throughout the website originate from Metatronics' own internal systems. User numbers, assets under management, successful trade percentages, withdrawal times and trading statistics are all presented as live data generated by the platform itself. That is not the same thing as independent verification. An internal dashboard can only ever tell visitors what the company chooses to display. Without access to the underlying exchange accounts, trading records and blockchain movements supporting those figures, investors are being asked to trust the platform's own reporting.
Look, if anyone here, like when I think about these sort of companies, real trading is really complicated. I don't know how to do it. I don't even know anyone who does. And I've hung out with other YouTubers before who do trading, and it's not something that you do. Like arbitrage trading is such a crack up because you're literally claiming that within a millisecond you can make money from buying here and selling there, and the discrepancies in between is the profits that you get from arbitrage trading. You've got to use pretty sophisticated software to capture those milliseconds. But the arbitrage sounds like such a great word that people just think, oh, it's real, it must be what they're doing. But if you look at the mechanics of it, it's kind of like saying a stone is an airplane or a rock is an airplane. And you drop the rock and you go, fly. That's not, a rock is not an airplane. So using arbitrage trading as something clever is just batshit crazy. It really is. To even use that terminology, if you don't understand it, it's a rock. It's going to crash. It's not going to fly.
The company also places significant emphasis on publishing trading reports and encouraging users to compare them against blockchain records. On the surface, that sounds reassuring.
Yeah.
However, after reviewing the available material, I found no independently audited performance reports, no read-only exchange access, no third-party accounting verification, and no complete reconciliation showing that reported profits originated from external market trading, rather than internal accounting entries. Demonstration screenshots and selected trade examples may be useful marketing material, but they are not substitutes for independent financial verification.
So imagine I've written to this company and got nothing. In fact, their email bounces. So I've also written to Jan Gregory, and you'd think, oh, look, Danny's doing a review on us. Let's get to him and tell him what, everything beforehand. But they don't. They don't want you to. Unfortunately, people just don't do these reviews.
Even the language surrounding custody creates confusion. In one part of the website, Metatronics assures users that their capital always remains under their control. Elsewhere, it explains that funds are held within a secure pool, that withdrawals are processed by the platform, and that capital is automatically allocated across its own trading strategies. Those statements cannot all mean the same thing. If investors genuinely retain custody of their own assets, there should be no need for withdrawal requests or company-controlled processing. If funds are transferred into a platform-controlled trading pool, then the arrangement is fundamentally different from the non-custodial model repeatedly highlighted in the marketing.
It's absolutely batshit crazy. I was just looking at this page here. This is what they call their trust center. Fully transparent, verified reviews, only real ecosystem participants, a 98% trust score. What company on planet Earth has a 98% trust score? And then you come down here and you look at all the reviews. Everybody, 22% of people have written 4-star reviews, 78% of people have written 5-star reviews. Not one of them is a 3-star, 2-star, or 1-star review. Incredible, Batman. Verified users. And look, and they're all, oh, well, when I did this the other day, that one's English, but they were all in Russian, and then you think, well, verified users. So now what do? We go off, click on it. Where do we get this? Is it Trustpilot? Is it? It probably is. Let's click on that. How do I, verified? No. Click, how do I find where that review is? Oh, this is their reviews on their website. Well, that just makes it even better, doesn't it? But you can read all about it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, did I do that one? Not sure. I don't think I did. Let's have a look.
Even the language surrounding custody creates confusion. In one part of the website, Metatronics assures users that their capital always remains under their control.
Ooh.
Elsewhere, it explains that funds are held within a secure pool, that withdrawals are processed by the platform, and that capital is automatically allocated across its own trading strategies. Those statements cannot all mean the same thing. If investors genuinely retain custody of their own assets, there should be no need for withdrawal requests or company-controlled processing. If funds are transferred into a platform-controlled trading pool, then the arrangement is fundamentally different from the non-custodial model repeatedly highlighted in the marketing.
Yeah, so it's in your wallet. Well, it's not, but it's not. The distinction matters because transparency is the measure by the number of statistics displayed on the homepage. It is measured by how easily independent people can verify those statistics without relying on company making claims. Genuine transparency means open the books, not simply opening a dashboard. At this stage, my investigation, I found pretty of polished presentations, impressive looking metrics and carefully designed interfaces, but very little independently verifiable evidence surrounding the extraordinary performance that that has been promoted. And that's the deal with everything, guys. It is batshit crazy when you think about this. I mean, these guys are making outrageous claims, and no one can prove them. And if these guys are legitimate, then they would have come back and at least give me a go, with something. But they don't. They don't care about the claims. They don't care about anything. They just want that illusion, And they'll be rebranding this website already ready to go. They'll be working on their next project because I know these are all just collecting money exercises.
By this point in the investigation, I wasn't looking for more marketing material. I'd already read the website, watched the videos, downloaded the presentations, reviewed the legal documents, investigated the company registration and examined the backgrounds of the people publicly associated with the platform. What I was looking for was independent evidence capable of answering the obvious questions that naturally arise when a company asks the public to trust it with their money. Despite the polished presentation, many of those questions remain unanswered.
Yeah, so I just got crickets. Nothing. There's no one can prove that this company's real. And that's what I'm saying. Why do I have to prove it's not legit? Why don't they prove it is legit and not use their own marketing material?
The first concern is the trading itself. Metatronics says artificial intelligence trades across more than 20 exchanges using multiple strategies that generate consistent returns for participants. If that is true, demonstrating it should not be difficult. Where are the independently verifiable exchange accounts? Where are
Yeah.
the complete trade histories? Where
Yeah.
are the realized profit and loss statements? Which exchanges are being used? Who executes the trades? Who audits the performance? So far, investors are being asked to accept screenshots, internal dashboards and company-produced reports instead of independently verifiable trading records.
Yes.
The second question concerns custody. Throughout the website, Metatronics repeatedly assures users that their capital remains under their control, yet the legal terms explain that deposits and withdrawals are processed through the platform. Capital allocation is controlled by the platform, and withdrawals may be delayed or restricted at its discretion. Those statements are difficult to reconcile. If the company genuinely operates a non-custodial model, it should clearly explain where participant funds are held, who controls the wallets, who holds the private keys, and precisely how users retain control throughout the trading process.
Because every time we get access to a wallet, we can actually see the money coming in and moving off to another wallet, but we never see the trades in between. And this is why, having it on the blockchain, showing us where people's money has gone, where it's held, and then you'd also see if that money was used to do these trades, you would see trading. But you don't. You see nothing. You just see all the money go in and go out. And we've proved this time and time again, but no one questions that fact until they lost their money.
Corporate transparency also remains incomplete. The website states that the founding team is fully doxxed, yet Bradley Peak is the only senior individual prominently identified. Investors still do not know the identities of the developers responsible for the trading system, the traders overseeing the strategies, the infrastructure engineers maintaining the platform, or the shareholders behind Vienna
bullshit.
Holding Limited. For a business claiming to manage millions of dollars on behalf of more than 169,000 users, those are not unreasonable questions, they are basic due diligence.
Yeah, no, it's all bullshit, guys, ladies and
Finally,
gentlemen.
there is the question of accountability. Why appoint Jan Gregory as a global brand ambassador despite his well-documented regulatory history? Was that history considered before the appointment? Did Metatronics conduct due diligence on the people representing the company? If the platform genuinely believes it offers something fundamentally different from the investment schemes Gregory has promoted in the past, then management should welcome those questions rather than avoid them. Transparency is demonstrated most clearly when difficult questions receive clear answers, not when impressive marketing encourages investors to stop asking them.
Yeah. I will say that is one of the things that makes crypto fraud easier than securities fraud to figure out. Makes me wonder why these people do it if they can be traced so easily. I know, I mean, I wish that we wish that they would actually use us, to, like if you come back to my database, right, you click on persons of interest. So I can't show you all these persons of interest these days, but if I went to, here's the CEO, right? What I've got on this guy is his LinkedIn profile. Have I got his phone number? No, I haven't got his phone number. But that's it. I've only got a LinkedIn profile. I've got no other real digital print of him. Looks like he's obviously been, but he seems like a real person. So I'm trying to figure out, has he been, has this guy been paid a large amount of money to say, can we pretend that you're the CEO of this company? So this is meant to be the guy.
Bradley Peak is a crypto journalist currently writing for BN Crypto, with a track record across reporting, research, and editorial strategy in Web3. He previously worked at Cointelegraph as a staff writer, covering DeFi, blockchain economics, and on-chain mechanisms. He is also a researcher at cryptoprocessing.com. Coins Paid, where he produces market research and analysis spanning crypto payments, AML compliance, and broader industry trends. Beyond journalism, Bradley has held editorial and strategy responsibilities with Lumia, Token 2049, Symbiosis, and holds a main board position at VNISH, ASIC mining firmware. Bradley is also known for his work on SumSub's YouTube channel, acting as its host, writer and marketer in 2021, a University of Cambridge alumnus, MPhil, Theoretical and Applied Linguistics, with a BA in Classics from King's College London. He also speaks Russian, self-taught.
Okay, so is this the channel they're talking about? So it just blows me away that, well, here's somebody we know, Aaron West.
On day 2, we make our way to Sihanoukville and see if Chinatown is really shut down.
So I know Aaron.
China.
You
How
know,
serious is Cambodia about shutting down?
yeah. So if is he meant to be? Is he this? Is known for his work on YouTube channel. So how do we verify this guy if he's on here? You know, and if he's on here, then what is he doing promoting this stuff that Jan Gregory's involved in? Which is just weird. So something doesn't add up, or somebody's, I don't know how to say it, but somebody might have died and somebody's stolen their maybe he's not alive anymore. But I'm trying to find theoretically a video, or maybe if I come down here and I search for Mr. Bradley and we find a video, and maybe I reach out to these guys and say, so he's not even in here. So I don't know if this is real. It's Crypto Enthusiast is writing for this company here. So now I go to this and I'm finding here. All right. So now I'm trying to investigate this guy. And now I want to come in here and I put his name in here again. Let's go get his name. You would think his name would be mentioned in here. So let's have a look. And we get nothing. So is this profile real or fake? I mean, how do I validate that this information that you see here is true and genuine? Because as far as I'm concerned, when you get to here and you're searching for this individual, you would expect to see him in these videos. And, you know, what point do you stop trying to find him? You know, crypto. And so these awards here that we've got, who's in these pictures? Yeah, so if you know this guy's existence or he can reach out to us, obviously I've emailed him and got crickets. I don't believe this guy's got anything to do with these companies, and I would go as far as to say that if he's not anywhere in these videos, then this particular page that we've found is bogus. That's how I take it. It's just dumb. But, you know, I might just, for the sake of it, add this to his portfolio, so to speak, so that next time we want to find out more information about him, we can do that and find it quicker. So let's see what's the next thing that he gets involved in, this guy. I'm just going to do some homework while I'm here. But, yeah, interesting, eh? All right, so what else we got here? So the finale question is...
Finally, there is the question of accountability. Why appoint Jan Gregory as a global brand ambassador despite his well-documented regulatory history? Was that history considered before the appointment? Did Metatronics conduct due diligence on the people representing the company? If the platform genuinely believes it offers something fundamental...
Yeah, we did. Okay, so... Metatronics Trust Center. I showed you that briefly just before. Metatronics has gone even a step further than most platforms by creating its internal trust center. Now, I often say that all these platforms and all these scams are all about building trust with you. And then once they've built your trust, then you invest. So now this company has gone a step further and added a trust center to their website. On that page, the company awards itself a 98% trust score, labels the platform secure, verified, and protected, claims 0 incidents, and describes its safeguards as institutional grade. At first glance, it looks like an independent review of an audit page. It isn't. The Trust Center is created, controlled, and populated by Metatronics itself. The company says every review passed 4 stages of validation, but doesn't say what they are, including Telegram authentication, trading history checks, cross-verification, and publication. What's that word?
Immutable.
Immutable publication. yet no independent author, cryptographic proof, external review provider, or publicly testable validation process is identified. Metatronics is effectively asking investors to trust its assurance that the reviews are genuine because Metatronics says it has validated them. And if you're running a scam, then that's exactly what a scammer would do. So, that is not independent validation. It is self-certification presented in a language of technical reassurance. The review distribution is also unusually perfect. The page displays 42 5-star reviews, 12 4-star reviews, and no reviews related to 3 stars or lower, as I mentioned earlier on. Several names appear more than once. Many of the English language reviews are remarkably similar phrase, and some participants' dates conflict with the words written by the reviewers themselves. One person claims to have joined in 2025, while the page labels the same reviewer as being active only since 2026. Other claims involvement since July 2025 began beneath metadata that suggests it's a later starting date. So you just can't make this shit up. So if we go back to here, this whole page is basically a veneer created by the persons of the page. And the other thing too is we've got show more, right? And then you keep going down here, and that's what we did. We literally just keep showing more, showing more, showing more. 5 months ago, right? Now this website, how old is this website, you may ask? Let's have a look. 5 months. Everything happened. All these here have turned up in 5 months. So I know this is nitpicky, but it's not really. So now 5 months. So all these reviews were either taken from another leave a review. Oh, can I leave a review? All right, let's see. Let's see. I don't think it's going to turn up, but all of a sudden the review's stuck to the top of the screen. I'm going to go to New Zealand. Let's go to New Zealand. New Zealand. There's New Zealand. Tell us about... I think this is a terrible scam, and I know my review will not make it to the website because none of your reviews have been updated for 5 months. All right, so let's have a look. Now, I've got a review, minimum 20 characters. Okay, let's go. Reviews will be published after moderation within 24 hours. Okay, you are dirty scammers. All right, so we're still waiting, and we'll go to hell and burn and I can't spell, and burn for ever. Now, anyway, so at the moment, I can't get past that screen. So I'm going to let's shrink it down. Let's see what happens. No, make it bigger. No, I'm stuck on that screen now. Make it 100%. So technically speaking, I can't write a review. I've got New Zealand. I'm sure it must have a box at the top here. So we're going to actually copy that message. And now we're going to hold the shift key down, hit refresh. Okay, and now we're going to come down to the Trust Center again. And we've got so excited that we just want to write a review. And now we're going to click the center of it. Oh, now we've got it. Well, let's go Danny. Username. Oh, what's the option name? Oh, so let's put to heck. Rating. I'll put a 2-star review. If you put 1-star review, they never get anywhere. And now I'm going to look for New Zealand again. There it is. And now I post my review. There we go. And submit. Leave the review. Thank you for my review. Oh, I can't wait to see what happened. But anyway, that's a load of poos and woos and rubbish, isn't it? Okay, so let's just listen to this.
Metatronics also claims an average reviewer tenure of more than 8 months, despite many visible accounts being marked as joining in January or February 2026. As of July 2026, those dates do not produce an 8-month average without a substantial number of earlier participants and the website does not show enough supporting detail to explain the calculation. Once again, the platform supplies a confident statistic without giving outsiders the evidence required to reproduce it.
So basically the dates that they give us don't add up, and they're all put on the website on the same date.
None of this proves every review is false. Some users may genuinely be receiving withdrawals and may sincerely believe the platform is performing exactly as advertised. Early payments are often the most powerful marketing tool in any high-yield investment operation. The concern is that Metatronics presents an internally curated review system as though it were independent proof. A company reviewing, verifying and awarding a trust score to itself is not transparency. It is marketing dressed as due diligence.
Yeah, marketing dressed as due diligence. Absolutely. I think this deserves its own section. Oh, look at that. My final assessment. So this is why I don't like ChatGPT sometimes, because I have these conversations with ChatGPT and I say, look, when you give me each section, because I write each section, and I say to it, please do not put your own commentary in there, because I forget to remove it sometimes. And look at that. Now I've published that everywhere, I think, as well. So that's going to be embarrassing. Make me look like I'm an idiot. I don't deny that I use ChatGPT. I absolutely think this deserves its own section. It's strengthens your investigation. So let's go. So now we did some extra stuff, as you'll see in a minute. That's all disappeared. So what we did is we went to, would you believe, Behind MLM, right? And on the 11th of July, he published his own investigation. And I thought, oh boy, we're having, Oz and I are doubling down at the moment. But he comes up with things from a different perspective. He's obviously mentioned Jan Gregory as well. And we've got Russian text in here, no surprise. So that's good that he's picked up. He's picked up the multi-level marketing side of it, because that's all Jan does. And then he talks about how he was doing bit, what do they call, bit harvest, and that died. And then what else was he doing? All the other shit. Anyway, it was quite good. So what have we got? Jan Gregory. Let's see what other people said. So I wrote here and just said, funny, I just did a review as well. But let's hear what this one's got to say.
Jan Gregory has uploaded 9 videos about the Metatronics global scam to his YouTube channel. As is typical of scammers, he has disabled the comment feature. PostumCC, MZLX69C8, youtube.com/JanGregory. His first video, dated July 5th, 2026, $200,000 daily ROI, Metatronics AI Algo Trading US.
Yeah,
if Jan Gregory is involved, your money will be gone before you even know it. A lot of my savings gone with the wind to Dubai. Projects like CoinMarketBull, Vortic and MaxSpread were all devastating, and no sign of this Salasprometer until now.
Yeah.
Glad that you got to this one so quickly. It's being heavily promoted by boomers on Telegram. Many people are being fooled into thinking, and even posting, that their Metatronics accounts are being credited with profits. One lady even said, I got 2% profits today. It's funny but sad at the same time. These scams will keep on popping up as long as there are gullible people and lack of regulatory enforcement.
Yeah, we just wish I'd do a bit of cleanup.
Nice work,
guys.
Oz. Very comprehensive post. Jan is just recently back to work after laying low post-bit harvest collapse. Glad to see his latest project called out so quickly. Hopefully anyone researching Metatronics and seeing this will be informed to the fact that it's a scam and steer clear.
We looked at one of his latest videos of him taking a joyride around a city. We have concluded that he is now based in Vietnam. So if the Alberta Security Commission is looking for him, they need to go to Vietnam. We could probably work out the city with not too much work. If you need help, feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, so it's a shame. Let's get rid of another comment. That's great. Alrighty, so independent investigation reached a similar, independent investigation reaches similar conclusions. Since publishing my own investigation behind MLM, founder Oz has also published an independent review of Metatronics. While our investigation was conducted separately and from different perspectives, it's noteworthy how many of the same concerns emerged. Oz investigator traces his public history of Metatronics back to the early 2026, pointing out that the project's own social media appears inconsistent with later claims that the business had already been operating for a full year. He also highlights that the Wayback Machine contains no historical archive of the current website prior its own relaunch, something I also encountered while researching the platform. His review also examined the background of the most two recognizable public figures behind the project. Like my investigation, Oz questioned the role of Blake Peak, noting that although he appeared as a genuine individual with a legitimate professional history, his public emergence as CEO occurs months after Metatronics has already begun promoting itself through Telegram. Oh, so it's like he's come along at the end. Oz also revisited the long history of Jan Gregory, documenting his promotion of multiple cryptocurrency schemes, later attracted regulatory action and collapse, including BitHarvest, coin bull market, all those ones that he promotes. SureX, it must have been one of his first ones. Max Spread. One area where Oz's investigation goes further than mine is the compensation structure. While his review identifies what he describes as the traditional MLM recruitment model, complete with referral commissions, ranked achievements based on investment volume, match bonus, incentive rewards tied to recruiting new investors. Those findings reinforce why I pay particular attention to Jan Gregory's involvement. Although Metatronics represents itself as AI trading platforms, the existence of a structured multi-level marketing compensation plan significantly changes the risk profile for prospective participants. Like if they didn't have that, it might be interesting to do the trading. You know what I mean? But no, it's the multi-level marketing is 99% of what they're trying to achieve here. They want you to recruit. Oz also noted several additional observations that deserve attention, including Metatronics use Telegram as its principal operating platforms. References to Yandex Metric, I can't even say that name, but I've seen that familiar.
Yandex Metrica.
Analytics on the website. And that leaves similarities between Metatronics and previous Russian-linked AI trading and Telegram-based investment schemes. Now remember, just because someone claims it's connected to AI trading doesn't mean there is something as AI trading available for everyday users to use. It doesn't work like that. Yes, there is some sort of AI trading, but what they're proposing just doesn't exist. It's all rubbish. Some of these observations remain matters of interpretation rather than established fact, but they conclude additional avenues for further investigation. So we never finish an investigation. We're always active. That's why we do a right of reply to most of these people that we deal with. Unless we can't find any contact details, then we just go. Perhaps the most important point in the two independent investigations conducted using different sources and methodologies identified many of the same unanswered questions. Neither investigations proved that I can't even say it now, is operating fraudulently. However, both conclude that investors are being asked to place considerable trust in claims that yet have not been independently verified. That alone should encourage anyone considering investing to slow down, ask difficult questions, and demand evidence before committing any money. I have linked Oz's review to compare both engagements conclusions. Oh, yeah, so it says here I have linked to compare. It's pretty obvious I've linked. I don't think I need that wee paragraph. We might just remove that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, how do I get that? How am I going to get that? Oh, there it is. Edit the post. I'll leave it. My final assessment. That sounds like ChatGPT, doesn't it? After spending days investigating Metatronics, I haven't reached the point where I can say the platform has proved its claims. Quite the opposite. The deeper I looked, the more I found carefully constructed marketing machines built around confidence, simplicity and trust, but supported. Oh, look, that's just gone out. That's just gone wrong. I'm going to read the next two paragraphs. Make my life
Quite the
easier.
opposite. The deeper I looked, the more I found a carefully constructed marketing machine built around confidence, simplicity, and trust, but supported by surprisingly little independently verifiable evidence. To be absolutely clear, I am not saying Metatronics is a Ponzi scheme. I do not have evidence proving that investor withdrawals are being funded by new deposits, rather than legitimate trading profits. That would require access to information that simply isn't available publicly. What I am saying is that the company is asking people to trust an extraordinary number of claims, without providing the level of independent verification those claims deserve.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to sit here on your soapbox and tell everyone you got the best thing since sliced bread. You really need to back it up with amazing evidence. And because I look at so many of these schemes, you kind of like, you switch off to the fact that there will be a real one out there because there is no real one out there. And if so many of them come across my desk and I can do independent research like this and find that none of them back up any of their claims. Investors have been asked to believe that more than 169,000 users have entrusted over 6 million to the AI-driven trading platform, operated by a recently incorporated Hong Kong company with a remarkable limited public corporate footprint. They are being asked to accept claims of institutional grade trading, hedge fund level technology, more than 20 AI trading agents, and consistently attractive monthly returns based on a company's generated dashboard, their own figures, internal statistics, and promotional videos. At the same time, the legal terms reserve sweeping powers for the company while significantly limiting the protection available to users. So basically, once you give your money over to the company, it's theirs and they can do what they like with it. And if you ever want to jump up and down, they're going to pay out $100 as insurance. The involvement of Jan Gregory, well, that just puts the cream on the cake, cannot simply be dismissed as a relevant background. The history of promoting cryptocurrency, his history of promoting cryptocurrency investment schemes that later attracted regulatory action means his endorsement should encourage investors to become more cautious, not less. Likewise, Blakely Peak appears to be a genuine individual with an established professional history, but the biology represented on the Metatronics website contains several claims that do not comfortably align with his own published career record. So it doesn't make sense. Now, one day I'm going to get reached out by the real Bradley Peak, and he's going to say I've got nothing to do with this company, or maybe his LinkedIn profile has been hacked and they've edited it. I don't know. Neither of those facts prove wrongdoing, but together they reinforce the need for much greater scrutiny. Now, that could actually be a real thing. Now, imagine this guy has actually had his LinkedIn hacked and he doesn't know it. Maybe that's how it works. Could Metatronics genuinely be operating profitable algorithmic trading strategies? That's the question. It's possible. All things are possible. Could early users be receiving genuine rewards funded by successful trading? It's possible, but possibly is not proof. The history has taught us an important lessons. Early withdrawals are do not validate a investment model. Just because you may be getting money out of it now and you're sitting here in disbelief and don't understand why it will stop, doesn't mean that it's a investment model. Numerous investor schemes pay participants successfully for months before eventually, I shouldn't even say months, it should be weeks. None of these last for months. Months is when you're talking a year or 2 or 3, isn't it, to me? And then it becomes years. But months, none of these schemes last for weeks. They should say weeks. That is precisely why experienced investors look beyond withdrawal screenshots and ask harder questions. Where the money is actually coming from. It's so simple, ladies and gentlemen. We follow the money. I went to a major conference with 150 delegates from around the world that fight crimes like I do, all independent journalists, and not just journalists, but, all the big people. And they said that when somebody buys a Ferrari, they don't follow the money. They actually work backwards. They find out where that money came from that paid for the Ferrari or whatever it is they buy, and then they work backwards. And I think that's how we sort of start to do it now as well. You need to do your due diligence. If Metatronics wants to distinguish itself from a long list of AI platforms that came before it, the path is straightforward. Publish independently verifiable exchange accounts, commission recognized third-party audits, identify the complete founding team, explain the corporate structure in detail, clarify exactly how custody works, recycle the inconsistencies between the websites, recycle, maybe that's right, the legal terms and the public biographies. Most importantly, provide independently verifiable evidence that the participating returns are being generated through external trading activity rather than simply reported through your internal dashboard. After reviewing every piece of the publicly available evidence I could attain, I have reached out to one conclusion. I cannot recommend that anyone invest in Metatronics. Although the investigation I've documented inconsistencies between the company marketing and the legal terms, unanswered questions surrounding its corporate structure, contradictory claims about the history, and complete absence of independently verifiable evidence proving that the advertised returns are being generated through genuine external trading. And to that, the discussion and to add to that, the decision to appoint Jan Gregory as a promoter with a documented regulatory history involving multiple failed crypto Ponzi schemes as one of the public faces of the platform. And I believe any sensible investor should be asking far more questions than Metatronics apparently answers. The burden of proof does not sit with journalists, critics, or prospective investors. It sits squarely with the company asking the people to trust it with their hard-earned money. Until Metatronics provides that proof through independent, verifiable evidence rather than polished marketing, I see no reason for anyone should be asked for a single dollar on the platform. I will continue monitoring Metatronics as new information becomes available. So if you have got any dealings with them whatsoever, you're probably going to write to me in the fairly early stages and say I'm getting paid, so you don't know what you're talking about, but you haven't answered all the other questions that I've got here. If the company responds to the questions raised in this investigation, pushes independently verifiable evidence, or addresses the issues outlined above, I will update the article accordingly. Good investigative journalism doesn't begin with a conclusion and works backwards. It follows the evidence wherever it leads. If Metatronics can answer these questions with credible evidence, I will report that too. Until then, go stick it in your ear. The evidence currently available leaves me with far more questions than confidence. So what we did here is we offered a right of reply for publication before we did this investigation. I contacted the genius himself using support@metatronics.global email address and published an official Metatronics. I published it on the website as well. I copied in Jan Gregory, and I used both those email addresses that Jan Gregory uses. Those two did not bounce. Whose promotion of the platform forms part of this investigation. My email invited Mr. Peak to respond to the questions raised in the article, correct any factual inconsistencies, provide additional evidence, or participate in a recorded interview so viewers could hear his position directly before I published my accompanying YouTube investigation. Unfortunately, the email was returned. Delivery status notification failure. stating the address could not be found or was unable to deliver the mail. Hopefully it just did not deliver mail because it didn't like me. As a result, I was unable to deliver my request for comment through the contact details published on their own website. If Metatronics, Bradley, Peak, or Jan Gregory wish to respond, provide additional evidence, or correct any factual errors, I remain willing to review that information objectively and update the investigation where appropriate. My goal is to document the evidence and what is it called? Evidence accurately and fairly as possible. And that includes publishing credible responses where they are provided. So it's a pretty full-on blog, but I got stuck on it. I mean, when I found out that the CEO was looking real, that did actually make me laugh because we've just been going after BG Wealth Sharing, CR Global LLC, and PO Wealth Sharing, and all the other schemes that are associated. If we just go back, I'll just show you some of the crazy stuff that we see, because the last, oh, I don't know how to say it without saying it, the last scam that we looked at, this is what they do. Where are we here?
What's up, Danny boy?
G'day, matey. I'll just finish this part. So one scam that we were looking at started off called CR Group LLC, and it morphed into Signal Raiders. Then it morphed into BG Wealth Sharing. It's now tried to light itself up as BO Wealth Sharing, Nexo, Swiftwave Capital, Vista, New Era, and Polar Tensor. All these scams, and maybe even this one here, we believe, are all out of the same human trafficking compounds. So the fact is, and that all those ones used fake CEOs, and they had cameras looking like they were talking, but they had a fake face. So this one was different because we actually had found somebody that looked real, and you could see videos of him. So it was a really strange one, this one. But anyway, it's still something not quite really. If you guys know this guy or have any dealings with this guy, please make him reach out to us so we can clear up what involvement is. And we'd love to know whether he really knows he's involved or not. So we're open to that. Anyway, Richard, here you go, mate.
Hey, what's up, YouTube?
Woo, woo, woo.
So Danny, I got two things about the blog.
Right.
I put it in the chat on YouTube, but check this out.
Okay.
When you were like, hey, GPT, I don't like how you mentioned from, the first person perspective in the writing.
Yep.
The one part is that you could tell it to only commentate, reference its own commentary in its own separate section whenever it lays out the full blog. In the wording, you get what I'm saying?
Not really.
No. Okay. So like, whenever it's like, oh, when I finish my analysis, right?
Yeah.
And the final thing, like, tell it to only reference its own self of the writing.
Yeah.
In its own separate section.
All right. Well,
yeah, and then the other, just saying, like, tell it like a command, like I'm commanding you to do it like that from now on.
So you would literally die if you saw how much work goes into talking to,
right.
Because
right.
I have a command for ChatGPT every time I write my blogs, and
right.
I get halfway through the blog and it loses its way.
And it messes it up.
Yeah. Okay. And then I say, what the fuck are you doing? I told you I don't want you to write shit like this. And then I paste my the command again and tell it to rewrite the blog. And then I said, now you're in. So I wrote one yesterday, and I said, like, if I went back to this blog that we're doing right now, you can see all the different attempts. So this, you won't be able to see this. Oh, I'll put it on stage. This is actually funny because I asked it to create an image of, and then it's got the friggin' Bradley Peak as me. And then it's got my logo half on its arm.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. And then I go, okay, so now I've got this image. And then I think I don't even know which one I used actually. And then I said, can you give me a black watch? Can you give me my new logo on my t-shirt. That's just the image side of it. But if you go back, it's really interesting because what you're saying is it's feasible. But at the very start, I'll actually start a blog off and I say, what do you know about Metatronics Global? I've just noticed that Jan Gregory is promoting the opportunity. We need to start building a knowledge base on the blog. So then it goes off to the internet and finds everything it can about the company. And then I go, oh, thanks very much. So that's sort of like a basis. And then it starts talking to me like I care. And then I go back to the Wayback Machine. I go to everything you can think of, Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then I just go back to, like, I get the transcripts from videos. I chuck it all in there and I get it all going and all this sort of stuff. Then I find all the security warnings from the governments. So, and I think I come up with 2 or 3 of those eventually. And then once I get it all tickly-boo, then I give it my big command to write me a blog, and this is how I like my blogs. And then literally, if it gets it right, I tell it to give me a new command describing exactly what it did last time, this time, so you don't F it up for the next time. And then, I go, then could you
messes it up.
Yeah, it does, and it's pretty good. So I had tomorrow's blog's going to be pretty cool because the amount of information it actually does process, and also now it tells me that
it does, or else I wouldn't bring it up live on YouTube.
Yeah,
we got to credit it as its own entity.
It's breathtaking.
And that was actually the second point that I was going to make.
Yeah,
is if it doesn't want to acknowledge that you're commanding it to be in its own section, then tell it it just became an Avenger, and now every time that you're going to talk in the first person like that, now you're speaking on behalf of the Avenger Anti-Fraud Alliance.
Yeah. I mean, like I love like I wouldn't be able to do what we're doing now, like the E-State blog I did.
Can discredit it.
Well, it can't because it uses human logic. It stops me from being legally, liable for saying something I shouldn't. Even if I tell it to, like this morning when I was doing the blog for this video, I yelled at it because the introduction that I read out, I said you're too PC. I said I said you're out of line because this is a scam. And I said, I don't want you to say, pussyfoot around. I want you to, and it said, we can't do that. We can't say that, Danny. And I'm going, oh, yes, you can, because I know this is a scam and I know people are going to lose their money to it. But it's quite good because it actually, like we were getting a bit reckless there sometimes with some of the stuff that we're saying, and it's put me in a vulnerable position.
And it's a lot to read over to double check.
Well, my blogs don't come out as one piece. So now what I tell it to do, because it says I've only got so much brain power, I can't spit out the whole blog in one blog. So I tell it to give me the introduction first with no commentary because it stuffs up me when I cut and paste it. And then I'll go, I don't care what you want to tell me. I'm dyslexic. I don't read it. So I look at the structure, I listen to it, I agree with it, I publish it. And then it pokes out something in it, and it just has to put a wee comment in there. And I go, what are you doing? I don't want your stupid comments because I don't read. It's so funny. And I'm sitting, my partner has the same thing. We're both yelling at ChatGPT. We're not very nice to ChatGPT. Oh, well, she's nicer than me. I'm the horrible person. But but it is so cool.
I'm not going to tell you what to do when I say it like that. But what I've seen, the way people use the different large language models, is you'll automatically presume that they did leave something in there. So instead of you proofreading it, you say, give me the list of where you mentioned. And then it's like, oh, I messed up. And then it'll give you a list where it brought up its own,
what you do though, mate, if we just take the one that I've just done, which is e-real estate, I copy the whole blog. I go back to ChatGPT, and then I'll go to scam number 3, real estate. And then when that loads, because I'm getting at the limit, then I go, can you please check for any ChatGPT notes in my blog that need to be removed?
Right.
Right. And then I paste that in there. So the whole blog goes in there. And then it will come through and it'll go, oh, your images have tags in them. That doesn't look right. And you'll go, well, I know that, but this is because I've cut and pasted from a WordPress website. And then it will say, how about I give you a suggestion? Why don't you paste the HTML in here? So now it's come back, for example, and it says, I've spotted several artifacts that look like copy and paste commands. And then it's going to say, it's just got, notice, you can't see it, but it's picked up that I've called something a PDF, which is the icon.
Right.
So it's very clever, because if you were looking for things to remove, but then I spend all day long, it's telling me to, I should have used bullet points. And because I cut and paste text, I don't have bullet points. But when I've published it, it's got bullet points. So it's pretty cool. But sometimes it picks up bits and pieces, but I can glance at something like that and go, oh, yep.
Yeah.
But, to be honest, mate, this e-real estate one I did that last night. It took me about an hour to publish a blog, create an image, create a song, publish it, write a reply. And if I wanted to, then I could say, like, this is how cool it is. I could say, one of my colleagues is Oz. Whoops, hold it. Is Oz from Oz from Behind MLM. Could you please put together an information pack for him so he can also write a review about this company? So, like with having a command like that, rather than me sitting here trying to attach all the images and explain everything to Oz, now it's come up and it's given me this amazing, what's this?
Hi Oz. Thought I'd send you a summary of what I've uncovered in case you're interested in taking another look at EE State. I've spent the past few months digging into the company, speaking directly with promoters, attending Zoom.
So here's an email I can send off to Oz. I wouldn't say a few months, but I could read this and go, Danny's use AI. And people will giggle and go, oh, don't say this, don't say that. But I don't care, because most of the people who talk to me know that I correspond using AI, and it's 95% accurate, and it also gives the information. So here's a timeline of events explaining it. The key findings that I found when I did it was the people behind it. The SEC form, and I can just literally cut and paste that. And whether Oz wants to put that into his version of AI, whatever he's using, and then he could say, oh, this is another independent investigator who's done an article on blah. This is what he's uncovered. Can you please cross-reference what I've written and what Danny's written and see if there's something that we've missed that would enhance this investigation? And it might say, and it, like the other one that I was trying to do when Jan Gregory was hooting around the city in his motorbike, I took screenshots of some of the landmarks, some of the signs on the street that we could barely see, and then asked AI to find out where Jan is. And come back and said, oh, these are Vietnamese signs. And then the first cut and paste come out and it said, I said, I think he's in Mexico. And he goes, oh, no. And ChatGPT goes, no, he's not in Mexico, because you wouldn't have this and you wouldn't have that. And I'm going, oh, my God. So it's so clever. Oh, Kathy, nice to see you here. Oh, Queen Akama, you're in here as well. But it's just so awesome now. For me, it's just, it really is a godsend using AI. And all the commands we're using along the way is just blows my brain. Yeah. Richard's gone. Oh, look, it's got birds in it. This might be like the other ones. What do you do, ladies, coming in here at the end for? what have we got? We've got Queen of Karma popping in, and Kathy. How are you doing, Kathy? Kathy, we went to the Global Crimes Summit 2024 together. I did hear that Ken Gamble was on TV again on ABC News. I've got to watch it. We've been chatting to him. We're still staying in touch with him. It's pretty amazing, really. Anyway, guys, look, Richard might have fallen off the chair there. Don't know where he's got to, but that's okay. Tomorrow, we've got an amazing investigation to do. It's a big one. It's a really amazing one. It's called the Global Clamping Investigation. And we've investigated this fella. Now, this fella has decided to take money from people and claim that he's going to build them glamping tents and structures, and he's got them in partnership. So he, at the moment, has got into this thing called glamping, Scott. I'll just actually have to show you. It speaks well. So this is, your partner is building a profitable glamping business, and he sold all these camps to people.
Hi guys, I'm Devin Allen Toll, founder and CEO of Global Glamping, and I am here at our Stevensville location that was featured in Forbes for winning Best Hip Camp in all of Montana. Now, I started out as an architect for Palm Harbor Homes in San Antonio, Texas, and now with all of our industry experience, we've been able to successfully help and launch glamping businesses literally all around the globe. So what we're gonna go over in our call is some of those best practices where we can help you in multiple different verticals.
So you'd think that looks really cool, right? And a lot of people have bought into it, and you get all these, these villages. But the reality is, he's taking the money and not delivering the products. And he hasn't even got, he's got all these zones where he's selling packages to people and nothing's happening. So I've got, currently I've got about 10 people that have reached out to me saying I've paid him $25,000, $100,000, $300,000, and nothing's actually happened. And it's just absolutely amazing. So we've got court filings, and he's already come back to me going he's going to take me to the cleaners. We've even got recordings, but we've got the receipts. Everything here is, like the Washington glamping idea, where 50-50 ownership with an investor. It's just it is absolutely batshit crazy. So that's going to be our blog tomorrow. It really is. I've got to show you something. So people have turned up. G'day, Pixel. People have turned up to stay in these places, and look at the condition of this one here. All the beds not made. There's no furniture. There's holes in everywhere. Then you've got a Facebook post where this couple had gone and stayed here. This is what was advertised, and then the reality of what was there when they got there was definitely not what was advertised. But anyway, I gave him about a week to respond to us, and I don't know if you can notice that, but there's holes. So it's not going. But he's look, even the grass isn't mowed. This is not. But they haven't got anything off the ground. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I am too. Oh.
Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of fun tomorrow. But the funniest comment I've got from this guy so far is telling me that because the people that signed up for these glamping investment opportunities have got a disclaimer in their terms and conditions, he's insinuating that they're not allowed to talk to anyone about when the contract goes pear-shaped. So I've had some fun doing some graphics as well. For some reason, he's got this blue suit on. I think it was something to do with some exercise stuff, but we decided to build some pretty cool graphics. So if you're around tomorrow, please do come back. I feel sorry for everyone that's lost money in this one. Even his ex-partner has come forward and told me that it was her concept. They put together a proposal to get $3.4 million with, I think it was some big agency like, what's that? I've forgotten who it is. The Hilton Group, to pitch. And then anyway, it sounds like he might have got that deal, and then he decided to, throw her to the side and burn the contract. And I can't even repeat what he's threatened to do to her. But it's going to be an interesting investigation. But look, using AI and using all the content and all the receipts that we've put in there, reading all the legal documents, all the court cases, the whole 9 yards, and even using AI to create a pretty awesome song. I mean, yeah. Here we are sitting around the campfire, singing a song while we're camping. You just can't make this shit up, but it's going to be a goodie. So anyway, that's what we're doing tomorrow. What's the name of the company, Danny? It's called, I'll put it in the chat room. It's called glamping.global. But I went live. I've actually spent a lot of time researching that one. And it is multi-level marketing as well, but just looking at the website, wouldn't be fair to say they are actively out there doing multi-level marketing, because theoretically you'd find somebody that wants to buy a glamping website and a tent, you get 20% or 20% of it goes into the commissions. But yeah, it's such a shame. Like this morning I woke up to a guy that wanted to have a meeting with me. Potentially, I think he might have lost $250,000 to a scam. We've been talking to people, who are literally crying on the phone while they're talking to me because they're hoping that I might be able to save them from some stuff, or, it's just all gone terribly pear-shaped. And it's just sad. Like I'm sick of having these people who have promised people, their marketing promises the world, but they deliver nothing. In one case, one guy that we have been, I don't know how to explain it, but one couple have actually been receiving dividends from their camping investment, but they haven't done any building. They haven't even got land. They haven't got the tents. They've got nothing. He's literally been paying to shut them up. He's been paying dividends from what looks like their own money. It just goes on and on. But as we said, we are waiting to hear back to see whether Christopher has actually been incarcerated. So that was our $400 million scam. As we said at the start here, look at this. This is Andrew Tate, right?
And then someone
It's
asked,
not Andrew
when
Tate.
can we start doing this?
For us.
Okay, so Andrew Tate, if you didn't know, has actually been detained, arrested in Wyoming. And this is the type of organization. Now, when you think about the Avengers, we are a small group of people with a loud voice. We monitored Andrew Tate, and then we monitored who the 50 men on these cruise ships. We found the organization behind it, and would you believe that these men who think they're above the law, Tomo, I mean, you look at that. So we just showed you that. So we've got Mike, the guy that we showed you at the start was on this boat, who thinks he's a crypto trader. We've got them showing you how, these all work out. So one of these guys is Mike. That's Mike there. So Mike there, we just showed you his video over here. I'll show you again. So this is Mike, and he doesn't even know how to spell the word fear, claiming he's a crypto genius. This is how stupid it is. Here we go.
Kind of that changing anytime soon. And most people look at all of this and feel one thing: fear.
That's so funny. That's a laugh. But then when you go back here, we've got him on a cruise ship in Croatia with Mike, Christopher, and Tomo. Christopher's we believe he might be in prison now. Hopefully he is. His house has been put into receivership. It's all rumors, but we don't know. 50 years in prison he's been charged with. Mike is now in Dubai, too scared to come back and get his passport stamped to come back to Canada or America. Here he is on a cruise ship with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has been arrested today. And then you come through here, and now the next one. So here they are in here, right? And the war room. And here they are teaching. And what do you have it? If we come back to about here, is it going to be there? There it is. There. Right. So you got Tomo here, who is an ex-policeman for 12 years, other people claiming that he's involved in fraud investigations when he was just a beat cop. You got Christopher Delgado, that we believe is maybe under lock and key and in jail now, charged with being pleaded guilty to a $400 million Ponzi scheme. And now you've got Mike over here claiming that he's a crypto trader that was worth absolutely nothing before he met Chris. All the money that I can't speak for Tomo, but Tomo's got a business that's getting more money in. The company's expanding faster than the money coming in the front door. He hasn't paid his staff 401k for 4 years. We've got people who have signed affidavits to prove that. We've got Mike, who's now in Dubai trying to claim he's a crypto millionaire when he had no money, got no money, all using Goliath Ventures money trying to start up their own businesses. And they think they're above the law. And they're part of an exclusive men's club where, but hey, look, just maybe they have had enough of these individuals. And maybe this type of no great man in history become exceptional alone, and then what is this? This is a new website again. So now we're learning more. And these are the secret brotherhood meetings. These are all the men that are part of an organization that they have to blur out their faces. What is this bullshit? And now the guy that started all this up, where is he? He's in jail. He's been arrested. He'll probably be out on bail in a few days' time, as all of them are. But isn't this just crazy? This is all new. I even
that
haven't seen
men
this.
should fight. That's something we are born with.
Originally from Ireland, I'm based out of Dubai right now. Previously I was in Marbella. I'm just traveling all around the world.
I'm based out of Germany, right now in Dubai. It's the first time being here, it's absolutely amazing.
I'm from Lebanon and I live in France. So now I'm in Dubai.
I'm based currently in Serbia. I
wonder if Mike's in here. I wonder if Mike, this guy, no. He's back. The war room. So the founder of this has been locked up. Who's going to be locked up tomorrow? Anyway, we'll have a look. I don't even know how to do a search for Christopher to know whether he's got his mugshot in the local jail yet. But look at these guys here, eh? There's Tomo. We know this guy, Justin. He's the guy that's taunting Christopher outside the jail at the moment, which I quite like. And then we've got Mike and we've got Steve Davis, who's trying to sue a young couple for $150,000, claiming torturous interference because they wanted to get away from him and not do any business. So, there's a lot going on at the moment, but let's have a look at Andrew Tate to see what he's part of. Wonder when the last post would be in him. So this was on the 13th of July. That's pinned. He posted corruption. I'm trying to see when the last time he posted. 9th of May. All right. No, can't see. 12 hours ago was the last post. This may be the last post that we see Andrew do for quite a few months. Who knows, eh? But we'll see. We'll find out what they've been arrested for sooner or later. But maybe all these have intimidated the government too much. They think they're above the law, maybe. Who knows? But we'll find out. If we've got news about anything going down at the moment, we promise I'll find you. It's just incredible. But anyway, tomorrow we'll be doing the global glamping store, and we've already received threats by Devlin Allen Toll. It said, what did he come out with this morning? This is his first message when I dropped the article. Let's see if we've got one. Is it going to work? Oh, that's not working. Why isn't it working? No, my computer's not reading it. It says...
Chats, your message. Devon, as I explained previously.
Let's try this one. They are all under non-disagreements. Hello? Oh, okay. I'll come with you. I'm only in a minute. Yeah. I'll come with you. Yeah. You're going to take them with us. All right. We've got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, basically, the guy is very angry, and he's telling me that the people that have provided me information aren't allowed to get scammed and then talk about it. Anyway, so he says this is slander and defamation suit. There will be a cease and desist letter, and you said you will not post anything until you have already been he said I wouldn't post anything. So anyway, it's so funny, but I just can't wait. I love these guys who come out and think they have a right to intimidate people or gaslight people or force people into a corner who can't stand up for themselves. But we are the Avengers. I'm Danny DeHeck, and we've got a team of people that will speak for you. So if you've got anything that you want us to investigate, you want any scam that you're not sure about, reach out to us, and we would love to be able to help you get to the bottom of it. Go to deheck.com and you'll find out more. We're here to help the victims, and we're sick of these people pushing people over the cliff financially, and we're sick and tired of being at the bottom of the cliff trying to put band-aids on people. So let's take these guys off. Let's take these guys on in the trenches, and let's challenge people at the top of the cliff before they lose all their money to financial scams. We'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoy my broadcast, and I might get some more sleep tomorrow so I don't start falling asleep while I'm broadcasting. Thanks for watching. I'm Danny DeHeck. That's not an apology. That is just a heap of shit. That is not an apology. I don't know about you guys, but if I took $400 million from the community that I live in and I love, claiming I was the best hamburger flipper in the world, realizing that I got busted by somebody, exposed by myself and the Avengers, we raised the alarm, so to speak, and then I couldn't keep the illusion going. And then I realized that I got caught, and now I've ruined people's lives. We've even had, she just told him a few minutes ago that someone has died by suicide. And now we've got him saying he's sorry, and she's going, that's an apology. That is just a crock of shit. And if that's, it's just sad. I'm lost for words.
That's taking responsibility.
That's taking responsibility. Well, as I said earlier on, no offense, Darlene Jones, I'm sure you're good as a news reader. I do not, and I never will actually admit that anything I saw in this interview was investigative journalism. I think the fact that Christopher rung you up, he was trying to control the narrative. The fact is that you told him not to mention certain people's names when relaying stories was ridiculous. This interview was meant to be the raw footage of Christopher spilling the beans, not controlling the story, not coercing a conversation out of him about, a prominent lawyer. I mean, this is all, people accuse me of doing things for clicks. This whole interview to me is all about ratings and getting the story. And you claim it was there for the victims. If you were there for the victims, you'd be doing what Justin did outside the courtroom and calling him out for the scammer he is. Why does this guy get to go to the courtroom wearing a fancy suit, looking like a billionaire, when he's just stolen everyone's money? This is a common thief that got stopped.
Say that they have the feds knocking on the door.
Yeah, they've all received subpoenas now, and
that was the first. That was the first comment that the DOJ made to me: is everyone that's going to come sit at this table is just going to point the finger at you. I said, I know that, but that same person pointing the finger was making $1 million a month.
Do you think
that same person that was pointing the finger was making $1 million a month? So he's now telling us, is he talking about somebody else? Is he talking about the 3% investor that I know about, that no one else knows about, that never received any money? Is he insinuating that somebody received money that no one knows about? Or is he not consistent with the stories? Because previously with these interviews, he talked about Nick Petrillo was making $4 million a month. Now it's turned into $1 million a month. Is he talking about Jay Newton? Why aren't we asking the questions? Why can he now say that somebody was earning $4 million is now earning $1 million a month? What story are we going with here? Why is that not hauled up and asked, who are you talking about? Is he insinuating that somebody that didn't let him get away with it is part of the scam? I mean, look, there were so many business people that got caught up with Goliath Ventures. And, you know, everyone may have done so at the start. Everyone may have enjoyed the honey that this guy was giving out until they started using, you know, those hard questions and asking for proof, asking for the books they never got. I don't want to take sides, but I also don't want somebody to control the narrative who's been lying to people for the last 3 or 4 years, taking money of mum and dad investors. And then this shit, you know, he's got an opportunity to get in front of a camera and dob in the last of his mates. Well, farewell, fair maiden, as you go off to Orange County Jail in your orange overalls and spend 50 years of yourself rotting in a cell for 23 hours a day.
We'll just plead guilty and just take whatever deal that can be negotiated.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you don't want this to go to trial.
No.
I mean, that would be...
There's no reason to go to trial. I'm not sitting here saying I'm innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying, though, I had the right intention. I was putting the money up front.
You think those people in Dubai just duped you all along to get you, to get people?
It's running now. It's up and running.
It's up and running. Wait until you see this part. So he claims that his liquidity trading, Goliath Ventures liquidity pool, he spent, I said $15-16 million on, is now up and running. So he's claiming that what he was trying to accomplish is now finished. And that is absolutely bullshit, because he's trying to copy NLP, my liquidity partners, which was running a scam, a $200 million scam. He got dividends from a Ponzi scheme for 3 months and then decided to start up his own liquidity pool fund, for the use of a better word. And it's not working. It didn't generate the money that he's paying out in returns. So what he's trying to say, he got it over the line, but the timing was all wrong. It was a failed business. It's not, because even if he's got this liquidity pool trading thing going, it's not what is going to generate the returns he was offering people. So it's bullshit on bullshit. It's just a total, he's just a kid. He's an uneducated idiot who thinks he's some sort of failed businessman who's delusional. And it's very hard to even sit here and listen to this shit. And I do believe if they had a reporter that knew more about crypto, could have actually grilled him about now and said, well, hold it a minute. If this project that you were trying to get going, how much return would have they actually given Goliath Ventures, the company that you were claiming can pay anything from 3 to 8% per month? And what proof have you got that it's actually sustainable? And how would you get the liquidity that it would need to generate the liquidity pool's money revenue? I think I said that, something like that.
It's producing. It's not producing what we thought it'd produce, but...
No shit.
You know?
Not 8% or
No,
5%.
but let me show you a message.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's proof that I got it going. She just said, she come up and said, what did she say? Did she say 5%? Hold on, I'm going to go 4302, 43. So she's alleging that she thinks that this thing that he's going to show her in a few minutes is capable of producing some percentage. And she even said what she thought it might percent. She has no idea what she's talking about.
People in Dubai just duped you all along to get...
The people in Dubai just duped you all along. I mean, so Carl Moon has told me that he's just won a court case for $3.6 million from the 2 individuals that Christopher was theoretically consulting. All right. So now she's claiming that the people in Dubai who Christopher's been paying money to develop an app, these guys have probably been taking money from Christopher, promising him things. These are all immature actors. This is exactly what I didn't actually think about it until now. Christopher's saying he's paid $16 million to developers. I bet you the developers are the same people that stole money, allegedly, from Carl Moon, who Carl Moon's just won a court case ordering them to pay $3.6 million to Carl Moon for scamming him. And now Christopher's been duped by the same people, and that's what she's saying. And now he's going to prove that they deliver the product that doesn't deliver any profits.
You to get
It's running now.
It's running now.
It's up and running. It's producing. It's not producing what we thought it produced, but
not 8% or
no,
5%.
But let me show you a message.
Okay.
What did you say? 5%? I don't know, but she said some percentage, which I didn't quite pick up on. But she's insinuating that he may have this thing that may be producing profits. I have no idea. Let's just say, in layman terms, I'm on my rant at the moment, but let's say if you've come up with a way of getting liquidity pool money, you would need volume, and you would need $30 million worth of volume to go through. It's like if you went and bought a car and they say, how are you going to pay for this? I'm going to pay on the credit card. Well, the merchant fee would be 1.7%. So that 1.7% is what you need to pay people who invested with you out of. And that's what they're claiming. So you need a lot of volume to make these liquidity pools work. Now, NLP meant to have brought in $200 million. And even if you looked at themselves on the ledger, they didn't have the volume to generate what they were having to pay out their investors. Same deals. Anyway. Does it sound like 8%? 8 to 5%? Yeah, maybe. What's she doing here? Oh. Who's on the phone, Chris? Who are you texting? Is it these people that we've got in your book? So he's still texting people trying to get the deal over the line. And this is proof that he got there, is it? Going to show us the screen?
Oh, I have that. I have that. Yeah.
Hey, they cut that, and you can hear a voice. Whose voice is that? Okay, Avengers, we've got these videos to listen to, but listen to the voice.
Oh, I have that. I have that. Yeah.
That actually sounds like Jonathan Mason's voice. Oh my God, the plot gets thicker. I feel like playing some music. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, he nearly got it going. He could have pulled the... I'm insinuating to the world that if this piece of software was going, Christopher wouldn't have been in the situation he's in right now. Oh, maybe that guy would still be alive.
Do you want us to sit back down, Carrie?
No, we're
okay. Yeah, I think we have a lot.
Here we go.
At the end of the day, I failed.
At the end of the day, he failed.
I can...
This is just another camera angle.
I can blame this factor, that factor, that factor.
And the volume is bad. Can't do much about that. Oh, I can actually. Yeah.
Other than that, what do you say to people who lost their life savings trusting you and investing in Goliath Ventures?
Okay. I've got 30 seconds to go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
I mean, there's nothing.
Here we go. Can you see she's texting? Can't quite see. Oh, sorry, I don't want to show their names. Hey, kids, that's it. We've got a bit of a roundup today, though. There's a few things you can do. Sorry, I broke the broadcast in half. I will splice this together, and we will come out with a proper broadcast. Look, I want to go see this guy go to jail. If you can support me in any which way or form, please use the button there. Go there, and you'll see that I've started up myself a bit of a hope campaign. I've got, I actually got, I did a couple of blogs last night. You can actually go to my website. I'll just shut down these pages as we go. Thank you to everyone that has contributed along the way in this journey. It really does help. I hate asking for money, but, and I know a lot of people ain't got the money after this. What else am I going to show you guys? I did have some interesting stuff. Just remember, they went after retirement money. Matt Burke, hopefully we should have a wager on who goes to jail next. Remember, this is going to be the quote that Christopher lives by for the rest of his life. Their money was used to make distributions, used for corporate events, used for personal spend. We used the funds to keep the company going, not to invest in people. Any idea in your brain that says that Christopher was actually a real businessman and trying to get real things going? I just want you guys to realize that is not true here. He didn't have a business. He's a con man. We've got some nice music available. What else have we got here for you? This is Christopher's wallet address. And this is what you call a Alpha Kongs Club. It's a prestigious NFT to have. If you've ever received any money from Chris in any which way or form over the last 5 years, we would love to know what wallet addresses he used. We've got all of them, we think, but we're still open. But you can see we've got Chris's wallet, his main wallet, his public wallet address. He created that back in 2022. So check that out. The other thing that we are really pleased to have is obviously being able to go to Etherscan and go through and check all of Christopher's transactions. So you can really help us to carry on this investigation. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to help yourself. If you're not familiar with it, you can actually go to Goliath Ventures BK. And we have got lots of dockets, and they're coming out every day. So even today, there's another docket here. I don't know what it is, so let's have a look together. And you can keep up with the latest events, what's actually happening. So I hereby, it's true, copies of the following, an order receiver, motion to excuse compliance. I don't know what that is. But look, if let's have a wee look here. This is what I do, and it may help you if you're trying to get heads or tail out of what's actually going on. Let's say there's a new docket like this one here. You can literally download it, put it on your desktop. You can go along to, I'm just going to bring up my WhatsApp. Won't be a second. I'll just go to ChatGPT. We'll go to, where are we? Goliath Ventures. Is that the one we want? Goliath Ventures. That's right. And I'll get rid of that. Alrighty. So we put Goliath Ventures back on here. And we can ask, I have a folder on ChatGPT. And the last time we asked ChatGPT was yesterday's documents. And I just basically get those documents and I literally drag a PDF document into ChatGPT. And could you please give me a summary of what this latest document in regards to Goliath Ventures is all about? So you can use ChatGPT. You don't have to be Einstein. And if you're still finding it a little bit hard to understand what these documents are about, then you literally can, when that decides to put itself together, come on, upload. It wasn't that big, was it? How many pages was that document? That is a big document. What is that one all about? Susie will probably know. She's probably read this. Filing documents. Law, RAM. Boy, there's a lot of information in this one. Let's see what we got. Okay, could you please give me a summary of what the latest document is? Right. In plain English, let's see, the court's saying we've already made rulings. Now we're officially confirming that all lawyers, creditors, government agencies, and interested parties can be sent copies. Now, I think this is actually what I think it is. It's really, really cool. So what it's actually saying is they have a database of every investor that has been involved with this investigation. And I'm pretty sure it's saying that the way that the courts can communicate with investors and net winners can change to simple emails.
This latest filing, docket 255, doesn't introduce any new evidence or decisions. It's what's known as a certificate of service. Essentially, the court's proof that everyone who is legally entitled to receive copies of recent orders has in fact been served with them.
Oh, there you go.
Think of it like a registered mail receipt. The court is saying, open quote, we've already made these rulings. Now we're officially confirming that all the lawyers, creditors, government agencies and interested parties have been sent copies. Close quote. This filing doesn't change the bankruptcy case. It simply documents that proper notice has been given. What documents were served? The certificate confirms that 3 important orders were distributed. 1. Receiver excused from complying with Section 543. This is the order allowing Michael Budwick to continue acting as receiver instead of immediately handing control of the assets over to the bankruptcy estate. The court had already granted this. This filing simply confirms everyone was notified.
Brilliant.
Extents Edelines. The order extending the receiver's exclusive period to file a Chapter 11 plan by 31st December 2026. Solicit votes until 1st of March 2027. Again, no new ruling, just confirmation that everyone received it. And 3. Approval to use one operating DARE, allowing both the Florida and Wyoming bankruptcy estates to use a single debtor in possession operating account while keeping separate accounting records. Again, nothing new, just proof it was served. Who received these documents? Quite a long list of the US trustee, the Official Committee of Unsecured Creditors, the SEC, the IRS, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, FTC, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Coinbase and Coinbase Custody, numerous creditor attorneys, members of the Creditors Committee, various individual creditors. Anything interesting? A couple of things stand out. Government agents involved. The service list includes SEC Enforcement, CFTC, Department of Justice, IRS, US Trustee. That tells us the case still involves multiple federal agencies with an interest in the
Homeland
outcome.
Security's missed out, isn't it?
Major financial institutions are still participating. The notice was also served on lawyers re America, JP Morgan Chase, Coinbase Custody. This reflects that these institutions continue to have interests or obligations in relation to the bankruptcy proceedings. Bottom line, this filing doesn't advance the investigation or reveal new assets. It is simply the legal paperwork court's recent orders have been properly distributed to everyone involved in the Goliath Ventures bankruptcy. If I were ranking the recent filings by importance, I'd put them roughly like this. 1.
Don't need
Rule
that.
Skip the
2004
content.
subpoenas
New
to
chat.
lenders, very
sorry.
significant. Active asset trace.
All right, that's enough of that. So that's how I keep up with events, and also I have my Avengers have multiple chats going on all the time. You can do the same. Just go to goliathventuresbk.com, and you can actually get an overview of the whole process. Now, we know that they shut down on the 3rd of December the operations in Florida. They reopened them in Wyoming, but the lead case is the Florida one where most of the damage is, so you don't need to file twice. Proof of claim, if you need to do a proof of claim, you can still do that, I believe. You can go to theheck.com and you can literally just search proof of claim. When you search proof of claim, you will find one of the blogs that we did previously, and it helps people. We're here to help individuals. So here's the proof of claim. You can come down here, click on the button that says proof of claim. It will take you back to the government website. You can come down to proof of claim, and you can click proof of claim. And before you know it, proof of claim, you're going to get a form that you can fill out. And it's not even that hard. If you need the case number, you can actually come up to the top here, and you should be able to find the bankruptcy, So, for example, I think it's here. So there's a step-by-step PDF on how to actually complete the proof of claim. And I'm trying to find the claim number as I speak, but it's going to be here somewhere. The case. I think that's the case number. And that means if you get that case number and you come back to here, you can put the case number in there, find that case. Before you know it, that brings up the case number. And then you can literally go tick, I understand, go next. And what you can do by doing that, then you can see all the people that have actually, filed a proof of claim. So these are people that believe that they are entitled to get some money back from what was happening with, Goliath Ventures, and that's where you can find a lot of people. So you can add to somebody's claim, and then next minute you can go in there and you can read through all the documents if you want and whatever you need to do, whatever it is. I don't understand that part of it, but I don't need to. So that's one thing that you can do. Now, when you're doing proof of claim, there's some other simple things that you can do to save yourself a lot of grief. You don't have to give them all the public. You can redact information. So you go to redact PDF on my website. We have a way where, let's just say, yep, I can. So I've got a PDF on my desktop. I literally drag it on here. And this is the very document that we just had the scrutinized. This could be your document. You can say, I don't want people to see this stuff, right? That's called redacting. You can come down here and go, I don't want people to see my phone number. So you redact that information. And once you've redacted everything that you think you need to, then you download it and you make that your documents that you submit to the courts. That's what you call redacting documents. They don't need to find out your home address. They don't need to find out how much money you invested. If they do, they'll come back and ask you, but that's how you submit a form. Right, and the other thing that you can do, you can go to my YouTube channel. And if you want to, and you're a victim and you've done all that and you haven't got around to doing the other thing, and that is going to the post area on my YouTube channel, you come down here enough and you will find a picture here. Victims speak out, make your voice count. Now, do you really want me to be in Orlando and meeting all you lovely victims and not giving you a big hug and saying, did you put in a proof of claim? They may read it out. You can say to the judge that you want your victim impact statement read out because you want the judge to make the right decision. So if you go to this post, you can click on read more. You come down here. We've given you some tips on things that you could say or do. And you click on justice. And there you go. Writing a victim impact statement. Everything you need to know. This is a government form. If you come down here enough, you'll see that's already got Christopher Delgado's name. It's also got his case number. And now you can write how much did you invest in Goliath Ventures. Maybe you can tell your story. This is your chance to have a vent. This is your chance to tell the judge or the person that's going to make the decision how long Christopher gets, what impact this has on you. Imagine the family that have lost their father writing out how much did you invest? $500,000. Did you receive any withdrawals and distribute on returns? The court wants to know, what impact this had on you. We lost our father. This guy pushed my father over the edge. That's what you can do. So look, that's me for today. That is the end of a five series of Christopher. Thank you to Channel 9 News for interviewing Christopher and giving him a voice to tell people that he's not sorry. He's not ashamed of what he's done. In fact, he thinks that he should be entitled. He thinks he should be entitled to get another opportunity to get investors' monies back. Does that sound like somebody who's showing remorse? There's other people in the community of Orlando and broader who are still running scams. They are still telling people what to do with their money. Do not let these bottom feeders control the narrative. Do not let them gaslight you into thinking that your money will be safe if you give it your money. Desperate times call for desperate measures. That's how the scammers are thinking. They are looking for new victims because they want to keep the illusion alive. They want to keep driving their flash cars wearing their too tight suits. These are the bottom feeders on the planet. No one has to tell you what to do with your money. It's just bullshit. Stop. Christopher, I'm going to go after every single person that was a co-conspirator. We've got Operation Elephant in full flight. How do you eat an elephant? One mouthful at a time. How do you take down Goliath? One stone at a time. Tomo, watch out. Mike, when are you coming back to get your passport renewed? What do you think is going to happen when you come back to Canada or America? Punnett Shaw, Vince Griata, Hunter, Smallback, Pierce Curry, Matt Burks, Nick Petrillo. I know what I'll do, is I'll take Christopher to court and I'll file a civil case telling the world that Christopher owes me $40 million. If I were owed $40 million in commissions, how much money did I bring in to get that much commission? That much commissions. How many people did Nick Petrillo defraud? You know, you've got Christine Turner, who was in administration. They're all sitting there rubbing their hands together every time they get a new lot of money in. They can feed the monster. They can feed Goliath Ventures. They can keep it going. Christopher said that $3.5 million was needed to run this monster every month. And then Danny DeHeck and the Avengers started researching, asking those questions. And then the investors got rattled. And they started asking to take out their money. He said it, his own admission, that they were trying to keep up with money. They gave people's money back to keep the illusion alive. If you wanted your money back, even Sanjay got his $100,000 plus $7,000 back. And I said to Sanjay, I said, what are you going to do with the $7,000? Well, if they want it, they can ask for it and I'll give it back. But until then, I'm going to keep it. And then I showed you today that Sanjay got paid through his merch company $402,000 from Goliath Ventures to provide merch to Patrick Ben-David's Vault 2025 event. Patrick Ben-David took $1 million to put Christopher on a stage and give him a mic, claiming that he's a private investment company. Get this. And that they generate 3 to 8% returns per month for investors. Patrick Ben-David took $1 million from Christopher. Didn't even do due diligence. We didn't need to do due diligence, did he? Because Jonathan Mason, who works with Patrick Ben-David, basically said, oh, Chris is good to go. And then we find that Jonathan Mason is working with other investors who are now sending out Dear John letters to their investors saying that they're not associated with Goliath Ventures. However, the investments that you were having with us, all payments have to cease at the moment because we can't afford to pay out dividends on your investments. These guys are all the same. The Onyx Reserve. Tom, what's his name? I've forgotten his last name already. Tom and Eric McNeil. Tom Shear? I think it's Tom Shear. They just sent out a newsletter 3 days ago stating that they have a new investment opportunity. This time, it's luxury real estate. You invest your money with us. We've got 45 days. We're going to push you into it. And then we've found this amazing luxury real estate opportunity, which is going to give you amazing returns on investments. So then you trot along and you check out Eric McNeil's YouTube account, and he's still claiming that they're making investments between 3 and 7% per month. If anybody is telling you that you can get a 3 to 7% return on your investment per month, are you shitting me? Don't listen to those guys. Don't let them get away. Ask them the hard questions. Give us the contracts. If you've signed up for any investment, give us a copy of your contract. This whole investment started because somebody that was being pitched a too good to be true opportunity thought this looked like shit. They gave us a copy of their contract, and now we've done well over 100 videos. We've produced over 65 different articles exposing Goliath Ventures. Stop. Think. It's like when a fire happens. They tell you, is it drop, roll? I don't know. Hey, look, guys, I'm Danny DeHeck. We are the Avengers. We're here to help victims, but we don't want to help you at the bottom of the cliff. We want to help you at the top of the cliff. We're in the trenches fighting head to head. We're doing the real reporting here. We're not waiting for the courts to file a document that we can be a newsreader and read. We're going to ask the hard questions. We're going to get up close in your face. And we're going to say, prove what you're saying is true. Show us who you align business with. That's what we do. And we're not stopping. We're not going anywhere. See you in the next video. I'm Danny DeHeck, and we are the Avengers. Ha ha!
Yeah. Another AI. Another promise. Another dashboard. But where's the proof? Yeah. Brand new website, fresh paint on the wall, talking hedge fund moves, but the paperwork small. Telegram bots say trust the machine. Whole thing polished, but I'm looking in between. Hong Kong address with 100 more names. Virtual office playing corporate games. Dashboard flashing numbers every minute. Question is, can anybody verify what's in it? 20 AI agents, maybe that's true. Show me the trades, don't just tell me they do. 4%, 20%, monthly they claim. I seen this movie, just a different name. Everybody yelling passive income. Everybody saying it's the new one. History whispers, I've heard that song. Truth don't care if the hype sounds strong. Show me the proof, show me the books. Not another website with professional looks. Show me the wallet, show me the trades. Not just another promise wrapped in AI claims. Everybody flex, everybody preach. Truth ain't measured by the speeches you teach. If it's real, then let the evidence talk. Until then, I'm just following the walk. Bradley Peak, public face on the stage. Cambridge graduate. Turn another page. Resume say one thing. One voice say more. That's the kind of detail investigators explore. Read every contract, every legal line. Withdraw anytime, well, depends on the fine print. Platform discretion and trying to review. Funny how the marketing don't mention that to you. No KYC. Printed in bold and later in the terms that can freeze what you hold. That's why I don't stop at the homepage design. I keep reading every single line. Questions, still no reply. Support them or bounce when I ask them why. Right of reply, door stayed open wide, nobody answered. From the other side, then Jan walks in like he's back again. Different platform, same old trend. Coin market ball, bit of harvest tool. Cloud 5 Vortic, name a few. Every cycle starts the same. Fresh new logo, fresh new name. AI, trading, daily pay. Seen that script 100 ways, not saying history repeats, but history short like recycling beats. Show me the proof, not just the hype. Anybody can build a beautiful site. Show me audits, independent eyes, not internal numbers or polished reply. You want trust, then earn it first. Facts for feelings, evidence first. Money don't care how smooth you sound. Truth always surface when we dig underground. This ain't hate, this ain't fear, this is due diligence. Crystal clear, one question before a single dollar moves. If it's everything you claim, why not simply show us the proof?